Call this lecture today from victim to hero, okay? And whether you believe this or not, you're going to have to be your own hero. Now, if you've watched my videos before, you know that I can just talk, okay? Or what we could do while Margaret is going through her presentation, when I come up here, I want everyone to come with a question today. I want to tell you something. You want the most brilliant lecture in the world, and it's nothing to do with me. It's got nothing to do with me. Nothing. You can either, who's got the phone on? If you can turn it off. Anyways, you can either have me just go blop, okay? Or you can all take turns, okay? And what we could do even, we'll start here and we'll go around like this. If you really want an adventure, we do this. And everybody comes up with a question. Yes, even you. That's right, because everybody has a question, okay? Like, why did my mother drag me here? Why? Because she knows that you don't eat right. And she knows that you hang around with friends that don't eat right. And we know, whether you believe it or not, how old are you? Okay, the average 14-year-old's life expectancy is 40 to 45 years old. Oh, yeah. You didn't know that, did you? Yeah. And take a look at the way you were fed when you were 14 and the way he's fed and what he eats. He eats GMO, he eats sugar, he eats dairy. Okay. When he's not around his mother, he goes in, because every 14-year-old is a drug addict. Not a drug addict, street drugs, not a drug addict, prescription drugs. But you have to understand something. 90% of all the food that's in your cupboard and fridge, there might be an exception here, but everybody goes, oh, no, not me. I wonder who's buying it then. Okay, so the reality is 90% of the food and the drink and everything that you have in your cupboard never existed 90 years ago. 90% of all the diseases we have today never existed 90 years ago. So you better get it. So I can give you all of this. Oh, my God, he's so brilliant. What a genius he is. Well, after 45 years, I've learned something. But the reality is, if you all give me a question today, something that's been bothering you, like 1 and 1 are not 11, they're 2. And why is it that, okay, why is it that there's so many canes, walkers, wheelchairs? Why is there a whole row of Depends in Costco? Seriously, okay, all right? And why are they coming after our children? Why are they coming after you? And listen to me, we're 8 billion strong. They're only 250,000 strong. Did you know that? The families, the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Carnegies, and what happened was you don't know this, do you? Well, not hundreds, but thousands of years ago, they woke up and they said, you're going to change your name to this and go to that continent. You're going to go to this continent. You're going to go to this continent. And we're going to hog tie 8 billion people when it comes to 2023. And we're going to take the diapers and put it on their face. That's how stupid they are. Now, understand something. You're not stupid, but guess what? Your beliefs are. And I'm going to let Margaret come up because I need you to think about this. And don't worry about challenging me. Who do you think you are, Dr. Wolf? And then I'll tell you. The reality is this, from 0 to 7, okay, understand, everybody thinks that we were created by that which created the whole universe. No, they manipulated the brain. Understand this, the brain is 90% subconscious, and from 0 to 7, everything that your parents did, everything that you heard from society and so-called civilization, which isn't civil at all, okay, became your program. And guess what? I don't care if you're 14, or you are 94 years old, he will run from the programs. 70 to 90% of the programs he runs will never be his own. And did you know what? 70 to 90% of those programs, guess what, are toxic. The human spirit is so amazing. You think of the way that you self-loathe, beat up on yourself. Look at the way you talk to yourself. Look at the way you disrespect yourself. And then you don't think you're disrespecting others. Oh, there's a bigger problem here. And that is this, and I want you to think about this. You are never going to get what you deserve. You're only going to get what you demand. Let me tell you something. People come on and go, Dr. Wolf, you murder people. You steal from people. Dr. Wolf, I love you. You're amazing. Can we just meet in the middle somewhere? Can we meet in the middle? And can you just stop focusing on me and listen to my information and just observe it and don't judge it? No, you couldn't do that, could you? Because everybody in here has belief systems. And when we're done this lecture, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Everybody's going to think something different because you all have different beliefs, but they're not yours. So the way that somebody thinks about you, whether they love you or hate you, doesn't matter. You just need to check in with your heart and ask yourself, are you living in observation? Are you actually practicing unconditional love for yourself and everyone else? Now, there's people that are very dangerous because they have bad beliefs. But if I hate them, if I dislike them, or if I dislike chemtrails and complain about it all the time, I become sick. If we were all just to mind our own business. Now, your business today is everyone to come up with a question. If you don't come up with a question, then I'm just going to sit here and vomit all over you. And then guess what? I have my own belief systems. And then what you're going to go is, you know what, Dr. Wolf? I enjoyed your lecture about 80% of it, but the other 20% I couldn't. Now, maybe I'm wrong with the other 20, or you're not capable of expanding your mind that much to take it in. Don't ask a baby to jog. Don't ask a newborn to jog. And don't ask 9,999 people out of 10,000 to become awake, because they're not. 1 out of 10,000 people awake. So, you know, my brother, who's Dr. Marcel Wolf, said to me last night, yeah, people are really waking up, Daryl. And I go, no, they're not. And he goes, yes, my neighbor 3 doors down, he got two Bs. And guess what? He just realized, and he came over to me yesterday, and now he wants to know everything. I said, yes. The only time that people wake up is when they're having a life-threatening situation and they're down on their knees and they're begging God, please. And it's called get off your knees and have an understanding that you better unconditionally love yourself on this planet and hold the line and not take things personal. Never need approval from anyone. Why would I want your approval? I don't need your approval for anything. I don't care if you love me, you like me, you hate me, because I get it all. With a big mouth like this, you get it all. And it doesn't matter. There's only one job that I have. Either put up or just shut up and go do something else. Because I'm going to have to put up with it. Because I know that everybody's beliefs are different than mine. And guess what? Who am I to judge your beliefs? Even if you don't like me, or you do like me. Or, you know what? You believe the whole lecture is just a crock of crap. But understand, it isn't. The closer you get to that which created the universe, and the closer you get to nature, okay, then you will find yourself. You feed your spirit, you heal the body. The invisible creates the physical. The psychological rules the biological. You better get this. And the only reason why you have trouble in your life financially, emotionally, or physically is because you're out of alignment. Whether you like this, I have it all. I unconditionally love myself and I unconditionally love others. And the ones that I have a hard time doing it, I don't focus on them. I don't focus on the things I don't want. You do. If you've got what you don't want, you focus on the things you don't want. And you're never going to have what you deserve because you got to demand it on this planet. And there's enough of everything. There's enough money, there's enough water, there's enough food, and there's never enough love. Do you know why? Because until you unconditionally love yourself, guess what? You have to unconditionally love yourself because guess what? You're going to wait for it. Every one of you have had many relationships and all of them sucked. And right now you're married and it sucks too. It does. It sucks. And I'll tell you why it won't suck if you have adventure in you. And if you have adventure in you, that means that you must love part of you. If you were to love all of you, your mistakes, your failures, your successes, and guess what? What's the definition of sin? Missing the mark. Sin was a man-made thing. Sorry, if I dropped on anybody's toes and you believe that you're a sinner, you just go with that. But I'm not buying it because when I do, it takes me off track. I bring my vibration down and I get sick. Is it okay if I don't get sick? So keep your vibration, your low vibration, that you're a sinner, that you're a failure, that you're a loser, because I'm not going with it. I got a job to do. And that's this. I'm going on a world tour. I closed my clinic down. Meanwhile, you should see how busy it is. But I'm closing it down because I want to do this world tour. And when I finish this world tour, I'm not finished with adults, but the only thing I'm going to focus on is teenagers after that, because I'm done. Because adults are very hard to work with. Their belief systems are so entrenched. Okay, at least, you know, teenagers, like if I was the king of everything, I would say adults are no longer allowed to have children. Only teenagers, because they still have spirit. Okay, they're still willing to be flexible and expand their mind and understand. Not one person here knew how to love themselves and love their partner and even make a good meal when they had a baby. And it wasn't your fault. But it's our responsibility to come together. If we don't come together, you got to get to the point that you don't need to forgive anybody for anything. Let's say me and you were married, and then you do something because you have a belief system you don't even know you're running, because everybody is only in 2% or 5% of the present moment. Did you know that? Yeah. Until you take a course like mine, a whole life coach or a Braveheart healing circle, you're only in the present moment 2%. And just know something. Only men are doing this in this room right now, and there's 3 of them, and they've got their arms crossed like this. On a subconscious level, they're already blocking me, and they don't even know it, but they're going to go, no, this is how I rest my arms. So the reality is people don't even know what they're doing. They don't think about what they're doing. They're in their subconscious mind, and guess what? Whether you want to believe it or not, the subconscious mind is 90% of the brain. You're not in charge. I'll tell you something, I'm in charge. I'm in the present moment at least 95% of my day. I reopened my business only 9 years ago from scratch. Go take a look at my library. Take a look at everything we've done. Take a look at what I do this year. After this year, I'll open up a new clinic. The reality is this. Mind your own business. Learn how to unconditionally love yourself. And those things that you're judging, walk away from them. This is the only way you're going to make it. Everything is about vibration. Everything is about frequency. How many people know that you came in as a spirit being? How many people know that you'll leave as a spirit being? How many people know that when you eat nature's blessing, food, that when you eat it, everything physically leaves, and you, guess what? Okay, you ready for this? Do you know why? Okay, you know that vegetables and fruits are alive, right? Did you know that they made a decision before they became that they wanted to become part of a higher frequency? And that's why they became a fruit and vegetable. They were a lower frequency because they've always existed. Everything is just a game, and we keep on climbing up the frequency ladder, hopefully, but no, we're falling back. We're devolving right now. But when you eat a fruit, the frequency that it has by the way it's been treated and loved will decide how high it is. And guess what? Everything that you've ever drank, everything that you've ever eaten has left your body. Everything. Only the frequency stays behind. The frequency of the fruit, the vegetable, actually, or whatever you're eating, is creating matter. So the invisible creates the physical. So you go ahead, do your Doritos, do your GMOs, do your ice cream, do your beer, do your alcohol, do your vaping, do your smoking. Okay, and guess what? I'm going to leave you with this. Every time you celebrate, you poison your family. Every time that your kid does something good, you poison them with a treat. Come on. Oh, you were so good. Mommy's going to poison you. And then guess what? Then you're going to be jumping off the walls, and then daddy's going to spank you. It's just a big setup. And guess what? You're not going to like this part, but I am one of the lowest vibrational beings in the universe, and I know that. And I know this because guess what? You ready for this? You're not going to like this, but only low vibrational beings eat and poop. There are trillions of different species in the universe, way different dimensions. You couldn't even count them. But no, we're just so focused like this. I know that I'm low vibrational. I get it. Okay, I've stolen, I've cheated, I've lied, I've done it all. But I am not guilty for doing it because I came down here. And don't you tell me that we are not in survival mode. But now I don't have to be in survival mode. I don't have to lie and I don't have to cheat. I just have to go in and feed my spirit and understand that I am capable and I can find genius when I tap into spirit and I let myself off the hook. When I'm a sinner, when I'm a loser, when I'm a failure, I hurt people. You think about that. And you think about the questions you want to ask me and go ahead and challenge me. Okay? And remember something, this is my story. It's not your story. So when you don't need to say, Dr. Wolf, my story doesn't match yours. Well, it shouldn't match mine. You have your own destiny. You have your own adventure. But the only thing that should match mine is I'm working towards unconditional love too. I'm working towards real justice. This world only has judgment. It doesn't have justice. There's no justice anywhere. The Justice Department. Are you like out of your skull? There is no department or system or government or, I mean, come on. Oh, come on. Medical care is called health care. It's petroleum. It's chemo, which, you know what chemo is? Mustard gas. You know, and if you're going to radiate your breast, just stay home and do it and save the time and put it in the microwave. Look at it. And then the only reason why you go and opt for surgery is because guess what? I don't care if you've got displaced calcium, scar tissue, a tumor, okay, a fibroid, or whatever you got, or I got to get a hip replacement. Well, guess what? Did you know the hip replacements did not exist 25 years ago? Knee replacements did not exist. Now you got to wait 2 years. And that's because we're an inflammation nation and we're rotten to the core. We're rotten to the core because they have, okay, those psycho elite that you want to call them, okay, they have been granted the financial keys to the world. It's never going to change. That what you call God said, you guys, you psychos, you get to have financial keys to the world. Why? Because you get to poison all of these people because guess what? It's their responsibility to rise and awaken. That's the game. Planet Earth is a life-threatening, fun-filled adventure. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody with a trump or trumpet. Okay? All right? Nobody's coming. Nobody at all. So let's go from victim to hero, and let's see how many people, when we pass this round, go, and don't go this. The person that passes the mic today had all kinds of questions. I don't want to look stupid. Don't worry. We already do. Because they stupefied us. And it's not your fault. I would never send a kid to school ever again. I would never send a kid to school. I would never send a kid to any government agency. And I would never put a child in front of an adult that I didn't check to find out if that adult unconditionally loved themselves and was going to not even have to forgive my child if my child did something. They were going to observe my child and sit down with love and care and say, why did you punch Billy in the face? Well, because I'm angry. Why are you angry? Well, because my dad pisses me off. Well, then you should call dad in. The reality is this, is every one of you have punished your children and you stop punishing them. And that's what they want. They want us to be cruel. And we need to stop being cruel. My God, I got people coming on here and they'll go, oh my God, you murderer, you killer. Yeah, I'm not a murderer and killer, all right. And you know, oh my God, you should go to jail. Well, guess what? I'm not going to jail. That person's already in jail. If my beliefs totally do not match somebody's, I'm the enemy. Your beliefs can totally not match mine, and I will love you just the same as if somebody's beliefs match mine. We are spirit beings, guys. I don't care what religion you came from. We're all going back to the same place. I don't care what story you made up or your religion made up, because there are 4,500 prominent ones. There are 100,000 different religions, and they all think they're going to heaven. They're the only ones. And heaven is right now. Heaven is right now. Heaven is eternity. And it's right now. And you can choose to grab it or not. And guess what? Your smile is your best weapon, no matter what I'm saying. If you kept a slight smile and you connected to your lion heart breath, 6 seconds in, 7 seconds out, shoulders back. And if you knew that that which created the whole universe does not love you, because it does not. Love is a very twisted thing. It is way beyond love. It's never judged you. But if you want to believe that, you go right ahead. But just guess what? You've got a lot of bumps in your day coming. I've got no bumps in my day. It's full forward. If I make a mistake, I'm not going to apologize unless I intentionally did something to someone. And if somebody's hurt, I'll go, why are you hurt? Well, because and I'll go, okay, it might look like that, but I want to do that. I don't want to hurt anyone. Just know this, your beliefs do not have to match mine, and I will unconditionally love you. And that is how we take the planet back. We are entering our 6th extinction. That's real science. And guess what? If the psycho elite do nothing else, I'd say 30 to 40% of the planet will be gone by 2030. And you're going to go, he's making that up. I'm not wanting to scare anyone. Yeah, come on. You know what? It's 65 to 85%, no matter what state you go into, that are obese. Obesity is actually inflammation and infection. And right now, we are verging on 89% of the population with an autoimmune disease, which means the body's dying. And you had to attack yourself on an emotional, mental level before you ever attacked yourself on a physical level. And they made you believe you're a little sinner, not a winner, you're a loser, you're a failure, and that you don't deserve things. Think about that, okay? And now we're going to bring it down a little bit with Margaret. She's the honey, okay? And I guess I'm the spice, okay? All right? You think about it. When I come back, we're going to start handing the mic around because guess what? Let's not let him lecture. Put me on the burner. Ask me some questions. Why are you even here? If you hand the mic over and you don't have a question, you should be at home, okay? Why are you here? To be entertained? You know, guess what? I was in Texas, and please don't get me wrong with this. Are we a little overboard with trying to make almost every kid I saw, the parents are trying to make them into the next superstar sports hero? Everybody's lost their way here. Everybody's lost their way. All I see is stress, a ton of money being spent, and nobody knows that their pants are being pulled down every day. And guess what? I never met one child that the parents didn't want them to become a sports athlete that didn't have an injury and wasn't eating crap. You think about that. Come on up.
All right. Welcome, everyone. Thank you guys so much for coming. It is great to have Dr. Wolf in town for first time in Illinois. So it's my pleasure to be the one to host this event. So thank you guys all for coming and showing up. I wanted to just kind of share my journey and how I found myself in this seat. So let's look into that. Before we start, a little bit about me. This is my family. My husband John and with 3 boys. Camille's the oldest one, and then we got Michael and Benjamin, the little ones. So.
Oh, and can I say something, guys? Just so you know, you see the cake. You guys have no idea, but the cake that they eat is healthier than the meals you eat, and that's the truth. Yeah.
Give us the recipe.
Oh, they have them. Guess what? John's going to do a show on my new platform. It's almost finished, called Touch, and he's going to bake a healthy cake every week, and then Margaret's going to come on and tell us about our children.
Yeah. And I can teach you some juice recipes also.
Right, I already want them. So.
Anyways, I'm a licensed speech language pathologist, and I hold my certificate of clinical competence from ASHA, which is the American Speech and Hearing Association. And I specialize in feeding disorders, swallowing and feeding. I work with infants. That is my specialty. But I also work with, older children and adults working on feeding and swallowing and myofunctional therapy. I also am Buteco breathing re-education trained. So we work on breathing disorders. And what else? Oh, and last year I went on a journey to study with Dr. Wolf and Dr. Sage Wolf to become a certified New World practitioner. So I do Wolf non-surgical treatments, and then also provide nutritional and emotional consultations. And my husband, John, he went alongside with me, and he's also master practitioner in Wolf Non-Surgical as well. So that's what we do. Like I said, we have 3 boys, and between my clinic and our kids who are homeschooled, we have a busy life. And then we try to work on our eating and stuff like that. But and then I founded my clinic, which is Advanced Therapy and Wellness Center, formerly known as Advanced Speech Therapy. So that's that. But I wanted to share my journey and how. Is it on?
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
But it's not loud enough.
It's not?
No.
You want to do something about it, or we're good?
Mine's higher, yours is lower. I don't know why. Here, where do you have your, can I see it? Oh, it's right there. Okay, I'll see if I can get them to turn it
Okay.
up.
Anyway, so I wanted to kind of share my journey of how I went through all my health issues and all the things that I have tried to get on a better health journey. Let's have Dr. Wolf turn off
Tell her
his
to
mic.
grab the mic. Get the mic. Give her the other mic. There it is. Thanks for causing my brain to stretch.
All right. So
No, you're not. You're sitting down.
here, let's take this one. Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So anyways, I wanted to share how I, found myself here, and how I, my journey to healing, how all of that went about. So the last 16 years, I pretty much spent going from a provider to provider to try to figure out what was going on with my health. And so I've been everywhere, and like most of you guys probably, or a lot of people out there, tried physical therapy, acupuncture, all the natural path. I tried working out at a gym with a personal trainer. I done all the kinds of cleanses, detox programs you can imagine. And I got some results, but it was never good enough. I was never satisfied where my health was, how I felt, how I struggled to wake up and get up every day, and I knew that, at the age that I was, I shouldn't be feeling this way. So, and then, come to realize that I really didn't know anything about health or how to feed myself or my kids or anything. So when I was 20 years old, I was about 40 pounds overweight, and I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. Have anybody heard of that? So I went from doctor to doctor, specialist to specialist, had all kinds of MRI, CT scans, you name it. And the best thing that they could come up with me was antidepressants. They said, it's all in your head. You should be taking that. So, I was busy. I was going to school. I was working. I maybe had, not maybe, I had a stressful life. Wasn't eating right, but I knew I wasn't depressed. So I never took the medication. And I started kind of researching a little bit and looking into the diet, looking at supplements, looking into working out, and, doing things a little bit differently. But then, my husband and I decided to have a baby, and going into labor weighing 205 pounds, had my baby via C-section. Didn't know anything about having a baby, caring for a baby, how to feed him, nothing. So, and my weight kind of speaks for itself. So that's kind of how it went down. And I was in labor for 14 hours and then finally decided to do a C-section. So that kind of started my whole, ordeal with my scar tissue in my abdomen, but we'll get to that. Anyways, so that's that. And then, a few years, I've been just researching and looking, and like I said, trying all the specialists, the acupuncture, the physical therapy, chiropractic, started working out with a personal trainer, did the diet, did all that. And then it was just kind of up and down effect. So, that's kind of it was just, like I said, never good enough. So then 2012, we had another baby. Again, was overweight. I was, what I put, 185 pounds. Had another emergency C-section with him as well. I could have probably gone into natural labor. Again, didn't know anything, how to do labor, how to do, pregnancy, and just let my doctors talk me into having another C-section. So that's how it went. And then, after Michael was born, he had just been sick nonstop, antibiotic after antibiotic. I, again, had to look and search and figure out what was going on with him. We finally figured out he, didn't do well with the formula. So we switched formulas and started looking into things, and got him off of soy and gluten and dairy completely, and then started kind of getting some results. But that was when I really started looking into eating healthy, juicing, and really trying to find replacements for things, because I didn't know. My family is Polish, so what do we eat? Just cheese and flour and milk, and so I was trying to find substitutes for the things that I knew. So, I would go to Whole Foods and trying to buy food for my son. It was like I had to have a personal shopper. Like the lady walk with me around the store to just help me find stuff that I could, my son could eat. And then my husband went to Polish store. So, so we had that going on for a few years. I did the shopping at my store. He did his shopping at his store. And then, we kind of had the fridge split, but, he had other issues. You guys can talk to him about that. But anyways, so that's how I got kind of started with looking into juicing and doing more of that kind of stuff. So then 2015, decided to have another baby. So again, better with my weight, but still overweight. I had Benjamin via planned C-section, which again, if I knew, I could have probably had natural birth. But at that point, I still didn't know enough, or I wasn't brave enough to try to do like a home birth or something like that. But I know better now. Anyways, so 2017 started the journey for me into knowing what I know and doing what I'm doing in my profession as a speech pathologist and myofunctional therapist because of Michael again. So he was tongue-tied, and I took him from doctor to doctor to figure out what was going on with him. And fortunately had met an amazing provider who specializes in releasing tongue ties, met with him, and that's how I started learning about airway and breathing and tongue ties and all of mouth function, and kind of spent 2 years traveling around and learning about that. But along with learning about airway and tongue ties, I started learning about nutrition and what our kids eat, and then supplementation as far as vitamin deficiency and how that affects sleep and all that kind of stuff. So that's how I started. And I was working at a hospital at that time, and I couldn't really practice what I was learning because of how this hospital system was set up. So I was constantly going against their systems and always kind of sitting in my boss's office for the things that I, would be telling my patients or the referrals that I would make. And so I decided that I really wanted to help families out there get the word out, and just kind of do it the way I knew was right. So quit my hospital job and started my private practice. And then that's kind of how that went. So, and again, 2018, that was when I started my practice. I was still overweight. I was still working on, figuring that part out. And then 2020, I met this guy. Anybody have seen him on Facebook? So just accidentally ran into his videos, and I'm like, ooh, what, what's that? He kind of speaks my language. So I started following Dr. Wolf and really getting into his teachings and the library and looking at how to be number one at the art of number two and the 12 loving steps and I'm a woman and, looking at all the materials that he had. And so that was great. And I was trying to get my husband into listening. So he did a little bit here and there and stuff like that. But then what do we got? Yeah, so that's 2021. January of 2022, I did my first advanced water fast. I did 7 days and it went great. So that was really good. I was really proud of myself. Had a lot of different things that kind of resolved for me with that water fast, but I knew I wanted to do more. So I did a couple more. And then in May, my husband decided that it was time for him as well. So he did a 40-day fast and I did a 20-day fast. Advanced water fast. So we did that together. So in May of 2022, that is us at a wedding, which that was the week after I already got out of fast and he was still on his fast. So that was like the biggest challenge of his life. Go to a Polish wedding on the water fast.
That's abuse.
Yes. So, but he did it, and that was amazing for him. So that was great. And then after that experience, we've talked about, going to take Dr. Wolf's courses, and not so much for doing it as far as providing the service to patients, but for ourselves. I really wanted him to be able to work on me and me working on him, and then knowing how to do that for our kids, and then just, close family and stuff. But it turned out that, as soon as we took the training with Sage, we were just like, oh, what hurts you? Let me get my elbow in there. And, and so we just kind of started like that, and then went to take the whole life coach. So in July, we became certified world non-surgical practitioners, and then in August we did the certification in whole life coach. So and then we went on to take another course in it was McKinney, and then we went to Bonita Springs. So so that's that. And then right now I'm really trying to spread the word about Wolf Non-Surgical and the nutritional consultations, and really teach my parents, or the parents of my patients, how to feed them correctly, how to manage their fever and colds and whatever, without the use of medication. And that's kind of what my goal is. But we also purchased the Salsonic, and again, it was it was more for my selfish reasons because of my 3 C-sections. So had a lot of scar tissue on my belly. Always had digestive issues and things like that. And I got the Salsonic treatment, got Wolf Non-Surgical on my abdomen a few times, and it's great. And then Dr. Wolf's got to do one more, and then we're going to be all good.
I'll do the exorcism before I leave.
And then
Do they get to watch?
Yeah, potentially. We're not going to be putting it on Facebook though.
No.
But that's that. And so right now I'm really, really passionate about just sharing my story and helping to share the knowledge that Dr. Wolf has. And it's there. It's just have to go and make the time and dedicate your time to learn it. You're not gonna hear it on TV. You're not gonna get it on social media unless you follow Dr. Wolf's page. And you really have to make that time and effort to learn all this stuff, because they don't teach you that at school. They don't teach our kids how to eat. They don't teach them how to exercise, how anything. And so. And that that is why we made the decision to not send our kids back to school, because I can be in control of what they're learning and what they're eating at home. So that was our decision. Okay, let's see, what else do I have? So that's my clinic, Advanced Therapy and Wellness Center. And what we do in my practice, we, like I said, specialize in infant feeding, orofacial myofunctional therapy, or motor skills and feeding for so-called picky eaters. And then, specializing with working with tongue ties.
And we let them know we did a part 1 yesterday, a
Yeah.
part 2 today, and tomorrow we're doing a part 3.
Yeah, if you guys want to watch my shows that I did with Dr. Wolf yesterday, we covered infants, and then today before the lecture, we covered children and like toddlers and school age children, and then tomorrow we're going to go into teenagers and adults. So stay to that.
On Facebook,
on-
TikTok,
Yep.
YouTube.
Yeah.
It's live on all those platforms.
Yep, and then I'll also share it to my page. The one from yesterday is also on my page, and then we'll
What's your page?
Advanced Therapy and Wellness Center.
I know, but you have to say it like 5 times.
Yes. So yeah, look me up on Facebook there, and then and then we do early language, speech, things like that. But we're more like detectives of speech and language issues are more of symptoms. So what else is going on? So we go in and we investigate what else is going on with the child, but we do, language therapy, speech therapy, social pragmatic language for those, children that have a little bit harder time socializing and playing and things like that. Also work with voice and fluency, and as well as adult swallow and language. So, things like post-stroke, post-surgeries, brain tumors, things like that. Some adults might have issues with some cognitive, executive function and stuff like that. That's all we do. But also what we do is provide both non-surgical treatments. So like I said, myself and my husband we are both master practitioners in Wolf Non-Surgical. We have the Cellsonic, which is the most powerful energy medicine equipment, and Dr. Wolf will talk about that a little bit more. And then we have the nutritional and emotional consultations. We carry Dr. Wolf's products, and then, like I said, the emotional consultations. And this is all about Dr. Wolf. So those of you that have not heard of him, Dr. Wolf has been in the natural health for about 40 years, over 40 years. And he invented the Wolf non-surgical technique for removing or getting rid of scar tissue, crystallization and calcification. He has he's the director and professor at the International Training and Institute of Health that do the certifications for Wolf Non-Surgical, and a whole life coach. And then he also speaks frequently at the Truth About Cancer and then other health seminars and conventions. So that's about him. But I also wanted to extend a huge thank you to my team who's here. You can find them wearing our shirts. So we put a lot of work into putting this event on, and I wouldn't be able to do it all without their help. So thank you guys so much. It is very much appreciated. And if you guys have any questions about anything that we do, you can find them in the back. They have information. You can ask them questions. You can also sign up for treatment with them. They have a sheet that you can get on the wait list, and we'll get you going if you're interested in any treatments. But that's all I have, and then we'll turn it over to Dr. Wolf.
All right. Okay, did I stir anything up? Did I stir the pot? I hope so, because that's what I always do. I stir the pot. We have to stir the pot. I'm going to tell you something. You can believe it or not believe it, but you'll never, ever reach your full potential. And that's not because I don't mean that you're not going to reach your full potential. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, Yeah, it's real technical.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. When I say you're never going to reach your full potential, it's because you're only limited by beliefs that aren't yours. That's all.
Yep.
No, no, no. Oh my God, don't you just love this one? He's on the spectrum. Oh, I bet he is. Okay. All right. He's probably taking something called spectrum. Okay. Listen to me. It's all BS. Dysfunctional belief systems. I don't care. You bring me any disease and I'll show you and we'll backtrack it. And it started off as a symptom that they ignored. We'll keep an eye on that for you. Yeah, really? Going to live behind the toilet or are you going to live under the bed? Which one? They're not going to keep an eye on anything. Let me be very clear about this. The medical system should have stuck into what they did best, emergency care. And when you go to them, you will become the emergency. So just get that. And whether you want to believe this or not, low vibrational people go to medical care and use medical care as their health care. And I can say it because it's true. Nobody will dare to ever challenge me on it. And understand something, it's all about money. It's always been about money. Okay? And understand something, I make money. But understand something too. I live in place, and it's not because it's because my priorities are what I want. You can live in a mansion if you want. Everybody should be able to do what they want. But I'll tell you something, all my money has gone into building this app. It's a $250,000 app. I'm not making it up. There is no app that's ever been created in health like this, ever. You'll find out. When you go on this app, guess what it does? It listens to you, and then it guides you to what you want, not what we want for you. You'll be able to go on my app, and you will never have to spend a nickel or a penny with me. I've created that way because I'm so powerful that if I don't give a program that is totally free, then guess what? I'm the scumbag. I can be a medical professional and take all your money and you'll never question it. I can be a natural health person and I'm feeding off the dead or the dying. And let me tell you something, you're all programmed like that. And so God love you anyway. The reality is this, I didn't do it because of that, but now I really want to do it because of that. That's the offshoot. That's to shut them all down because nobody's ever spent their money like this and created a platform like this. It's my own Facebook. I'll be bringing all the people that have been shut down off of all the platforms on this platform that want to help the world. Like Jim Gale, he's going to have a show weekly. Okay, like Margaret, like Ty Bollinger. Okay, The Truth About Cancer, like Del Bigtree. All of these guys are my friends. They're coming on my show and nobody can shut it down. No government agency, nothing can. Okay, so understand that. I'm not angry, but guess what? We're going to have our own AMA, and it's called New World Practitioners. And you got to become your own hero, your own practitioner. Understand something. God loved the medical system because if you need emergency care, nobody does it better. But understand something. By the age of 10, they want you on one drug. On the age of 22, and it's written right in the manual. By the age of 33, the age of 44, the age of 55, don't believe me. It's their business. That's all they are. They're in the drug business, which is actually the petroleum business, which is, guess who? The Rockefellers own 52%. Okay, all right? All they're doing is putting petroleum into you. So do whatever you want. I'm not angry. I'm not upset. Do whatever you want. Take all the drugs you want to numb yourself out because you never learned how to love yourself because you actually believe what everybody told you. And understand something. The biggest terrorists, they're in your bed. The biggest terrorists are in your head. The biggest terrorists sit around your table. It's not them out there. My God, there's 8 billion of us. Oh, but we can't get our shit together. Seriously, we can't even have a crap because we can't let go of our own crap. And that's the deal. Let me tell you something right now. Okay? Think about this. How do you like this for a statistic? In 15 years, 95% of the population will be obese. That means that they're all going to be leaving. Let me tell you something, and you can take it and leave it. You're big. You're bold. You're beautiful. Well, you are beautiful. But being big is not bold. Being big means that you were injured sexually, physically, and emotionally. And that is your bumper car. And you needed somewhere to store all that infection and inflammation. You use food to suppress, and because you're low vibrational about the way you feel, you eat the same way. Let's cut the crap. There's nothing beautiful about it. Diabetes, high blood pressure, your bowel movements smell. You've got cramps all the time. You've got low back pain. Your knees are killing you. And all of it because you're pooping in your pelvis. And that's it. So don't give me the stuff. Don't give me the stuff, because I'm not going to listen to it. You're up. Okay, so let's talk loud and proud. Keep it 1 inch away.
So Daryl, since taking the course, was absolutely life-changing.
Got to speak louder.
Which was life-changing for myself and my family.
Okay, can I say this? Everybody, at the voice she's speaking, you need to speak that loud and understand something. If I have to ask you to speak louder, just know this is where you don't like me. You don't lack enough confidence. What if I say the wrong word? Everybody's going to laugh at me. Does everybody promise not to laugh at anybody today? You've been set up to fail. You say you want to be outstanding. You say you want to find your passion, your purpose. You say you want to gift the world, but you're scared that you're going to fart. It's normal to fart. Oh, wait, I think I have one right now. No, go ahead.
Okay.
All right.
Is this better?
That's better.
Okay.
Look at me.
Perfect.
That's better.
So.
Talk from your solar plexus and your core. Okay? Let's open up your throat. Let's open up your solar plexus. Let's let them know that we exist. You know what? Let me tell you something. Most of you are so scared you crap your pants every day. And I'm telling you, I would rather live one more day as a Braveheart hero than 9,999 out of 10,000. And you think I'm looking to leave the planet? No, it's an adventure for me. It's not a horror story. It's not a drama. It's not a trauma. It's called, yeah, I got this, baby. I know this is a life-threatening, fun-filled adventure. I don't care if I get a phone call right now. Oh my God, Billy just da-da-da. Oh my God, oh my God. I would just go, slight smile and keep it on my face. And then you would say, oh my God, Daryl, there's a trauma. Get that smile off your face. You'd probably want to slap me and I won't take it off because that's my protection. You go ahead, you cry, you justify, you get all tense, lose your energy, get a headache, okay, and stress yourself out until you get cancer. Because the C in cancer stands for corruption, contamination, and conflict. And that's what you do to yourself all day long, because he or she who suffers the most shows that they care the most. Are you like out of your skull? You can't care when you're not there. And you're not there if you're not connected to your breath and have a slight smile on no matter what's going on. You think that going into trauma, and being all upset all the time. Oh, I worry every time you go to school. Oh, I miss you so much. My heart breaks. Oh, I just don't know. Oh my God, I would just run from you. Seriously, give it up. You've all been programmed. You are, what are you? You're spirit beings. You're eternal. And they are feeding off our spirits. They're feeding off our children. Go ahead. And you better make it good. You're first.
So let's try this again. So since taking the course in McKinney, Texas, that was my first course, which was very life-changing for myself. And I was able to come home and, bring a lot of strategies I'd learned. But
keep it a little closer.
So I brought my son today because I was hoping that, that has been my biggest challenge.
We're going to lose most of the teenagers. No, I need you to get this. We're going to lose most of the teenagers, and understand that. Okay? It's got nothing to do with him. Okay? The reality is guess what? I'm going to let you go with this, but this is my story. It's not yours. It's nobody else's. I just made this up. And is that okay with you if I make up my own story? Well, you did. It's just that mine is a little bit more interesting. Okay? The story is guess what? The same families have ruled the planet forever. and they've decided that we're ants allowing negative thoughts, and they've decided that, guess what? How many people here know that they've already fenced off 1/3 of the world and said we're not going to be allowed to travel to these areas because they want to keep it nice for themselves? Okay, so that's true. So just know this, okay, that guess what? They want to get rid of the teenagers. Why? Because they're the ones that are going to have children. And they've decided that, and guess what? How many people know that you could take the whole planet and actually put them in the state of Texas? Okay, are we done yet? I hope we're done with this bullshit. And I mean bullshit. And I'm swearing because I'm allowed to. And it's not a bad word. Okay, it's BS, a dysfunctional belief system. And I'm not falling for it. You fall for it. Go ahead. Why don't you fall for it? Oh, wait a minute. We already did. Okay, go ahead.
So my question would be, what advice to parents could you give to how to help reach your teenagers? Because that has been my biggest.
There's only one thing you can do. Because see, right now, his kidneys are on fire. He hardly drinks any water, and he's a sugar junkie. Okay, and so when I went to, I touched his hand, and his kidneys are on fire, and if his hands are wet, okay, like he peed on them, and that's just his kidneys are on fire, and his adrenals are flat. They've been firing continually. Okay, all right, okay. So understand, you can't do anything. You don't allow junk food in the house, and this is my house. Get a job, move out. I love you. I'm doing it for you. You won't know that. Okay. As soon as he leaves the house, he's going to eat, drink, and do whatever he wants because he believes that you're the enemy. Because what he does is he looks at all his friends, because most of his friends don't have mothers that like you that are going to hold the line, Penny. And that's it. And so he goes, wow, I wish I lived with Jimmy at Jimmy's house. I'm sure he said it. And maybe he didn't say Jimmy, but he said, I wish I was at Jimmy's. When I go to Jimmy's, I get to go on blue light therapy and play games all the time. When I come home, I get to eat all the junk I want, and we get to stay up late. We get to do everything. Well, that's because Jimmy's parents are in coma. Okay, they're in coma, and they're not getting along either. Okay, but the reality is he goes, well, I want freedom. Well, guess what? He's not going to be free from illness later. Okay. And guess what? How many people know that the diet that 99% of all these teenagers are on, they will be drug addicts or they will be alcoholics. That's it. Because you can't take in all that sugar and flour without replacing it with something else. You're only going to get worse, not better. Okay. Tell me one person that focused on a belief and it didn't get bigger. Come on. Don't think we're not going there, because the stuff that he likes, it is drugs. It is chemicals, and it's not his fault. And I'm telling you that, people say to me, like, what am I going to do? And I go, let them get sick. Let them get sick, because guess what? Their spirit is strong enough to bring them back. And the reality is, if you're hounding at him, he'll eat more. He'll actually go over to Jimmy's house and he'll pig out and make himself sick because he can't have any at your house. So just go, I know that you're going to eat garbage as soon as you leave here. I know that you're going to do tons of blue light in front of gaming. I know that you're going to burn your brain. How many people here know? How many people here know that, guess what? Let me put these on, see? So I'm going to put these on for the rest of this time because I've got these two phones in front of me. Okay, we turned the lights off, didn't we? Well, because we're not foolish. They're all LED. There's blue light coming off of this. How many people know? I'll keep them off for a while because I can do it. I sip on C60 all day long. How many people know that I'm 67 and when I was 58, I was still wearing prescription glasses? How many people know that I have perfect eyesight, near and far? How many people know that I will do the work of 10 people? And if you don't believe me, ask Margaret, ask anybody. I can juggle so many things. I've got 3 phones. One, it's for patients. One, it's for my beginning practitioners. And one is for my master trainers. So when a phone rings, I know how to deal with it. And then I also hand them off. And the reality is this. I'm going to tell you, I'm sharper than I've ever been. Old age, forget it. He's older than I am. He wouldn't be able to keep up with me if he tried because of the sugar and the flour and all the chemicals. And then you're asking him to do things, but he's a drug addict. But the thing is, he's a drug addict. You have to understand that if you eat dairy, if you eat yogurt, if you eat milk, if you eat cheese, if you eat any animal products, you are getting more antibiotics than in your prescription. How many people know that 70% of all antibiotics go into animals in the United States? So the reality is you're getting them. They're not even putting the antibiotics in there to keep the animals healthy. They're putting the antibiotics in there to get you unhealthy. Okay, so what do you want to know? No, there's nothing you can do. You're going to keep your mouth quiet, and you're going to just keep the house a lean, keen love machine. That means that you're going to love him unconditionally. And when he comes home and he's got a headache, when he's got a sniffle, when he says he can't get up for school, that's all because of the Doritos, the ice cream, and the garbage, and the Gatorade, and all the other stuff he did, okay? And go, okay, that's fine. Just know that you're missing school, because guess what? When you want to take toxic products in, you become infected. Then you become inflamed. Then you create all kinds of mucus, and they call that a virus. Okay. I want everybody to go home tonight and look up the word virus, because guess what? This is how intelligent human beings are. I guarantee it might be one person looked up the word virus in a dictionary when COVID came. One maybe in this room, and I doubt it. And if you looked it up, it said it's a toxin, and toxins aren't live. So how far could a toxin jump? I don't know. Maybe 5.5 feet, but not 6. Okay? Okay. So understand something. So we know that a virus, okay, first of all, wow. Viruses, there's no virus. All the people wearing the masks, I'm sorry. They're, whatever. You know, the reality is you can all sneeze on me if you want. Okay? All I'm going to get is a lot of boogers on me. Okay? Nobody realizes that every change of season, we get sick. And understand something. The most powerful thing in the world is thoughts. I'm going to get sick. Well, okay, there you go. I'm going to be rich. Okay, well, if you believe in it, really, truly believe in, then it's going to come. Okay, my mother had, you know, how many people know that there was a study called the Genome Project? And they never told anybody about it because it cost hundreds of millions of dollars to do, taxpayers' money. And guess what? You know why they didn't tell you? Because it was a fail. There are no genetic diseases. Oh, and guess what? Do you know what a virus is? It's 300 different solvents, chemicals in the human body that actually dissolve heavy metals and man-made chemicals. That's why people are getting so sick so often now, and it's so terrible because it's man-made. And the reality is every change of season, what happens is, you got to get this. If your bacteria, if the worms inside of you, and if the actual fungus inside of you ate heavy metals, okay, or if they ate these man-made toxins, they would die inside of you and make you sicker. And they don't want to die. So these solvents, this is true, go in and they help to dissolve the heavy metals and the chemicals to get them out of your cells. And then guess what? You have to turn the tap on to drip out your nose, your vagina, your rectum, your ears, and your eyes. And that's the truth. And you know what the really craziest thing is? The people that are so scared of this, they go home and they eat the worst garbage. Okay? And they're so inflamed. You can tell because they're overweight. Most of them are overweight. And then the people that are sick and on the medications and all the drugs, they're the ones that wear the masks. Meanwhile, guess what? They're suffocating. There's never been a study to show. Anyways, we got to get off that topic, and we'll come back to you. All you're going to do is love him unconditionally. You make your stand with him, a loving inner standing. That, you know what? Here's the deal. Did you know that your immune system, 85% of your immune system is the good bacteria in your large intestine? Okay, so what's the main organ that's disrespected by healthcare? The large intestine. Did you know that your large intestine is a compost? So whatever food you put in your mouth goes into the compost to create the bacteria. So what if you're putting in chemicals and things of this nature? Then you are putting in the wrong chemicals and wrong nutrient. You're not getting any nutrients. So now your good bacteria go to bad bacteria. And guess what? Does anybody know that the bacteria talk 9 times and the brain only talks once for every 9 times the bacteria talk? Does anybody know that the bacteria, the most intelligent part of a human being on a physical, that it's not your brain, because your brain is not your brain's just a computer. Whatever beliefs you have in here are the programs you have in here, and you're running them. That's all. Take a program out, put a new one in. That's all it is. And the only other thing is your brain is a chemist. Depending on the emotion, depending on the belief, will depend on the emotion, and depending on the emotion depends on the frequency, and that'll depend on whether you're going to pump adrenaline into you or dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins, and go, I love my life. Or, and see, he's sitting there, but his body's stressing out. Take a look at the kids, and you can tell they're anxious. They're anxious. They're not anxious. Their nervous systems are being fried out. And now what you're going to do is you're going to love him anyway. This is what we eat in this house. Oh, I'm not hungry. He's going to tell you that all the time because he's addicted, right? I'm not hungry because he's addicted. Now, whether you believe this or not, so I went to Margaret's house yesterday, and they eat everything organic, and they make it themselves. All I had was one bowl of soup all day. But I drank her juices, about maybe 2 quarts of juice, like fresh juice. I drank about 3 quarts of structured water, and I did my nutrients. You know what I used to tell people? This is the thing that's going to get you. Don't ever replace nutritional supplementation with your food. And now I have to tell them, we don't carry supplements. We carry nutraceuticals, very high vibrational. I got out of supplements a long time ago. It's all about frequency. And guess what? I will tell my kids, make sure that you take your nutritionals. I will pay for them. Because guess what? You can't get them in food, even the organic food now. If it's not in the soil, it's not in the food. If it's not in food, it's not in your body. And do you know why you're always hungry? Because there is a hunger trigger called I need nutrition. How many people know that every supplement that you ever took leaves the body and only the frequency stays? You are getting the frequency of vitamin A. You're getting the frequency of calcium. You're not actually getting the calcium. It leaves. Okay. Go ahead, my friend. Loud and proud.
How do you deal with anxiety?
How do you deal with anxiety?
Yeah.
Well, the first thing is you're just not good enough. You're not smart enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not handsome enough. You're not strong enough. How's that feel? How's that feel to be like that?
Bad.
Well, that's what you are. And it's BS. You compare yourself to everyone else. And every other boy your age is also having anxiety. Okay? That they're not going to get good enough grades. First of all, let's talk about school. But I'm not overriding your mother. I told my kids, you know what? And today, if I was more intelligent back then, and I meant critical thinking, they would have never went to school. All I told my kids, like my son, Dr. Sage Wolf, you know what? I told him, I said, look, just try to get through this thing. And you know what? You don't like school. There's nothing. I know you're not learning a lot, but you know what? You love rugby, okay? And you've only got another 2 years left. I don't want to pull you out. You're going to have a good time. Just pass the sucker, because we already know what you want to do, okay? So you find your passion, find your purpose. Who gives a crap about school? Did you ever notice something? The more people go to school, the more information they have in here, but it's usually BS, dysfunctional belief systems. You know what? Okay, so you can believe this or not. A friend of mine, he's a genius. 4 different doctorates. He died yesterday. 2 vaccines. Okay, so, and guess what? Sudden death. That's all they say. So I'm not going to say it's the vaccines. I won't say that. I'm not going to say it. So I didn't say that, but guess what?
Coincidence. This is what they call it. Coincidence.
Now, I don't want to keep going into that thing today. It's too controversial. We're going to try to stay here. They want us to talk about it because you are never going to change things. You can't. You know why? Because the herd won't let you. The herd won't let you. Remember something. Fear, okay, is the only way they control us. False evidence appearing real. And I'm not fearful about anything. And I'm not talking about jumping off a cliff. I'm also not a goof. So I don't do that. But don't think you can scare me. Marketplace did a show that they've been trying to put together now for over a year and a half on me to try to make me look like a thief and a murderer. And the reality is people say, why didn't you do a rebuttal? Well, because I'm not going to. I don't need to defend myself. The world will see who I am. The world will see who I am. Yeah. And guess what? I don't need to defend myself. It's quite obvious here. Okay? I hope you know this is a free lecture. Hope you know that they're the ones selling the products. So I just want you to know that. The reality is I will give away whatever I can to a point, but I got to make sure the company keeps running and we finish this app. That's it. Nobody knows what kind of risk I'm taking with doing this world tour. It's huge. It's a huge risk. Right now, it's a huge financial risk. But guess what? Who cares? I can start all over. Who cares? If I'm joyful and happy and I know that I was created by God Almighty, who cares? If I can get up in the morning and look at myself in the face and go, I love you, who cares? Anxiety? You're not going to get rid of your anxiety unless your mother gives you really a fair amount of nutritional supplementation, really good stuff, to bring your vibration up. It's all about your vibration. You don't have any energy.
That's where we struggle. We won't take the things I have. I have almost all of them.
I know, but okay, can I say something? And please get this. I'm not picking on you. This is not about you. This is about everybody I see. Okay? All right? He's a drug addict. When my daughter, okay, because my daughter, okay, here I am, who I am. And she got into a crowd at private school. And then it was just a spiral. My oldest was on the street for 3 years. The only thing that she would let me give her was chocolate bars. She would not come home. She would not do anything. I probably took her out of about 5 crack houses. I spent $150,000. And guess what? She's alive today. The reality is, drug addicts do not want high vibrational things. You're addicted to the low vibration. He's addicted to his adrenals always going. You can get high off of dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins. It's very relaxing and it's healing. Or you can get high on adrenaline, which most people are living off of here. And that's what is called exhaustion, fibromyalgia, okay? Chronic fatigue, and then it goes into your autoimmune disease, which is just inflammation. So inflammation becomes what? Scar tissue formation, the stiffness, the displaced calcium, pulling it from your bones, trying to buffer down the acid, the crystallization from the lactic acid. The reality is, look how dark your pupils and your eyes are. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. No, that's what I was going to get to that. He doesn't sleep because he doesn't eat grounding foods. How old are you? Yeah. By the time you're 21, you'll have an autoimmune disease. Okay? And then he'll listen to you. Okay? And I hope that it's not caused because of street drugs, because then you'll lose them. Okay? And then, and alcohol, because that's all they want. You have to understand something. Can I say something here? And this is really important. Anybody watch my One a Day 2 days ago? Mad? Yeah. Mothers, okay, against drunk drivers. Why are we against drunk drivers? Why aren't we against drunks? Yeah. Why aren't we against alcohol? The government will fund the MAD because it's just drunk drivers. So go ahead and get drunk, but guess what? Whether you want to believe this or not, the real harm is in the family. Okay, every alcoholic is physically and emotionally or sexually abusing his family or her family. So just know that. So that's the deal. Alcohol is not good for anyone. But to see, he's an alcoholic junkie. Because he's got a sugar addiction. And it's not just that. It's the chemicals in the food that are stimulating his brain, and that's why he can't stop eating them. You know what? Oh my God, I just gotta have a salad now. Oh, really? Okay. What do you think? What do you think? What'd you eat this morning? What'd you drink this morning?
Eggs. I ate eggs and
Can you use the mic? Because nobody can hear you.
I ate eggs and toast.
Okay, so one thing, we don't want the toast because he gets way too much flour products already. So I won't say no to the eggs, but if you would have taken a couple raw eggs, some organic berries, and put oat milk in it and made it into the most, listen, I can make a milkshake for you that's totally healthy and you think you got it from somewhere and it's dangerous. The reality is this. I already told you this, your generation isn't going to make it. I don't know what it's going to take here, but just understand something. Take a look at 9 out of 10 of your family. They never woke up until they were dying. Okay, so that's it. So understand something. People are not stupid. It's just that your brain is 90% of your brain is your subconscious. Unless you're going to, okay, I'm going to tell you something. You take a Braveheart Health and Healing Circle or take a whole life coach. Would they change? He'd change if he was in it. Everybody here will change, and you will change and you'll start loving and caring for yourself, not because of anything except that we did something. We did massive personal action and we went in and we took out a prominent dominant belief that you're not worth anything. And we put a belief in that you're worth everything and you're not going to care what people think. You don't need anybody's approval and you're not going to take anything personal by people calling you a health nut. Oh, you're a health nut. Oh my God. How can you eat that crap? You know, you're all just programmed to go out and attack. That's it. You know what? Let me tell you something. All right. The people that didn't want the V, okay, were attacked. If I go to dinner somewhere, I don't go attacking people that are killing themselves right at the table with the food. But guess what? All the rest of them will go, look at him. He's a weirdo. Right? So understand this. I love you anyway, and I know you'll never accept me. I love you anyway, and I know you'll never accept me. You'll love him anyway, and you know he will not accept you until he gets really sick and goes to the hospital at least 2 or 3 times. Not once. He's going to have to go 2 or 3 times. All right? Okay. Welcome to his program. And then guess what? You're not going to feel sorry for him, but you're not going to attack him. You're going to love him anyway. All right. Because he's a beautiful kid. And you know it. Yeah, go ahead. Let's just do it. Come on.
Okay.
Get it close. Get it close.
All right, is that close enough?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So after McKinney, my brother moved in with me.
Go a little closer.
After McKinney, the
Speak.
course.
No, point it at your mouth.
All right.
Come closer.
Okay. That's perception. Thank you. So as I'm listening to you speak with Penny and her son, I have the same kind of situation with my older brother.
Your older brother. Okay.
Yes.
He moved in with you.
Yes, he
Okay.
did.
All right.
He had lost like 60 pounds. I didn't know how bad of a shape he was.
Okay. So was he underweight?
Very underweight.
Okay. So let's make something perfectly clear. It's worse to be underweight than overweight. Okay. And when you're underweight, that means that you actually are taking massive personal action at killing yourself. Okay. So that's what that is. And then guess what? And then did you ever run down a hill? And you knew that if you stopped, you'd do a nose plant. So you have to keep running. So now he can't stop the weight loss, but he could, but you've got to know what you're doing. Yes.
Okay. Well, he has actually gained some weight. I have been preparing better foods.
I know, but see,
eating, but it's
you got to
still
know what you're doing.
a little bit. I don't know a lot about what I'm doing, but I'm doing some things right. But he refuses to give up dairy. Refuses. He's like, I've always done dairy. He's 72.
He's 72, refused to give up dairy, so you're going to love him anyway. So the reality is he brings dairy into the house, or do you buy it?
No, he brings it in. Goat
Okay.
milk.
Huh?
Goat milk, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Not cows, but
So let's talk about goat milk and cow's milk, okay? So let's just get this perfectly clear. So cow's milk is 20 times larger than mother's milk. A cow can digest cow's milk, but don't worry, most people are getting as big as a cow. So the reality is, and they're getting as big as a cow because they're doing cow's milk. I wasn't trying to pick on anybody. I'm trying to tell you, that's why. the inflammation. So here's the deal. So it's 20 times larger. And also in cow's milk, there's casein. And casein is actually a molecule. And what happens when you give a newborn dairy, or you give a mother drinks dairy or eats yogurt or eats cheese? The casein comes through the breast milk, goes into the baby, and now the baby has juvenile diabetes for the rest of its life because the casein got caught on the baby's pancreas, and now the body goes after the casein, but actually goes and destroys the pancreas. Oh, nobody wants to tell you that, do they? Oh, it's all just genetic. So now he's doing goat's milk, which is 7 times larger than mother's milk, so it's easier to digest, but it's still causing inflammation, but about 1/3 to 40% the inflammation. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So yes, he's changed his diet some. He's actually sleeping a little bit better. I've tried to talk to him.
Well, reduce the inflammation. So you can't sit up, can you? No, you can't sit up straight, can you? No, it's okay. Stay like that, because guess what? You're old. You're old. You're like 14, but you're not 14. You have the body of a 74-year-old right now. Okay? So that's what's going on. You can't light your body up with drugs and chemicals and be young. So your spirit, you're losing your spirit. You also have worms. I just want you to know that. He has worms really bad. And how do you get rid of worms? Bring your frequency up. Get on daily cleansing tea, black gold, and black diamond. Black diamond will get rid of all parasites in the brain and in the blood and in the tissues. Black gold will get rid of all parasites from your large intestine, from your mouth to your rectum. And you do a little bit every day, because guess what? Black diamond and black gold bring in 70 micronutrients, and they suck up all the heavy metals. They suck up viruses, and they lock them down so you don't have to have any symptoms. It's the most powerful product in the world. And we're the only company I know that don't use chemicals to process. And I can show you all the science.
Now I have another question when you're talking about getting rid of the chemicals.
Yeah.
So my brother was conceived when my dad had been sent home from Los Alamos to die because he had radiation.
You're going to have to speak louder.
Okay, my brother was conceived
There.
when my father was sent home from Los Alamos to die because he had radiation poisoning.
Yep.
So
Your father had radiation poison, and he was sent home from Los Alamos,
Right.
which is a hospital.
no, Los Alamos was where they did all of the nuclear testing.
Okay, fine.
All
Okay,
that
because
stuff.
he got radiation poisoning at Los
From being
Alamos,
there, yes.
and then your brother was conceived.
conceived.
Okay, good.
So is it possible that he inherently had all of those? He would have had to have all of those heavy metals, all that stuff.
No, the
from
body
the
would have
beginning?
weaned that out. The body
Okay,
would have
it would
weaned it
have.
out. Whether
Okay.
you want to believe it or not, if we track his emotional stability back to when he was 2, 3, and 4, 5, then we would find out why your brother acts like he does today. Don't kid yourself.
Oh, no. I'm just
0 to 7, 0 to 7, you've already written your life story. And the only way you can change it is if you want to do something like a Braveheart Circle or a whole life coach certification. I'm not making this up. I will tell you, if you ever come to one of my trainings like that, after the first day, you're going to go. By the second or third day, you'll have a breakthrough, and you'll actually go, okay, I've never loved myself. I'll look in the mirror and make sure my hair's nice. Let me tell you something right now. You're all blood-sucking people. You go off everybody, and you try to suck love off people because you don't love yourself. If you were to unconditionally love yourself, fill up your own heart, that's it. It's over. Because that means you'd actually have to care for yourself. And guess what? Most of you will not care for yourself. As soon as you start doing workouts, as soon as you start eating right, your family's going to pick on you. We've all been programmed, okay, to undermine each other's health, wealth, and love. You don't love me anymore. Well, why don't you just love yourself, and I'd love you more, because you keep on draining me. Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay.
And guess what? You have to take a loving stand.
Which
No.
I have not done.
You're incapable of doing that right now, because you haven't. Okay. Are you a beautiful person? Yes. I know that. You took our course. Did you walk out of that course unconditionally loving yourself and holding the line? And
No, not because when I got back, No, I didn't pull.
No, you didn't. I already know that. I knew you weren't going to. You were making
with him.
No, not with yourself. You didn't. She didn't hold the line in the course. And it's all about vibration, and it's what you're willing to do. If you understand that the true enemy is in here and the answer lies in here, so bring it down, and everything needs to come up through this before here. And understand something. How do you give somebody value that's never had value? Listen, you've been told so many times that you're selfish. You're selfish. Well, that's just the other person saying, stop living your life. You're going to live mine. That's what parents do. That's what lovers do. And guess what? Because we can't live without love. I get it. I get it. But why don't you just make your own and stop trying to steal from me? If we all unconditionally loved ourselves and we were to shine that light on each other, there would be no more tyrants. There's only tyrants when there's slaves willing. Okay. I'm a slave to love. Okay, go ahead. And she's a slave to approval by her brother. You gave it away when the eyes kept going back and forth.
Yeah. Well,
So just know that. Okay.
well, I can see that. I also feel, I think that there's.
No, here's the deal. You get hurt too easy. You don't want to hurt him. You feel sorry for him. It's the worst thing you could ever do. Okay? You're not going to yell at him. You're not going to judge him, but you're going to hold the line. No. No. You're not going to be sick in this house. Okay? Be sick somewhere else. So the reality is this, I get it. We've got to wean people out of their belief systems. But the reality is if I have somebody in my life, I want to see a 1% move every day. Is that okay? 1%. 1%. And he hasn't been moving. He goes to a certain part and then he just stays. And then that's it. And you know why you allow that? Because you went to a certain part with yourself and you stayed. If you make a 1% every day, then you should have 100% change within what?
100%.
And then you start all over again, because we are infinite beings and we can expand as big as you want. My God, I just shut down the World Healing and Training Center. I decided to do that like 4 months ago. And you know how much money that was making if money was important? I wouldn't even have to go. I could just go swimming to the beach and check in every once in a while. No, let's rock this thing. And anyways, I want to open up a different type of clinic. You know, the clinic I'm going to open, and people aren't going to like this. You're not allowed to come with an autoimmune disease and tell me that you only want to do this, this, and this. I'm not doing it, because guess what? It all comes back on me. Money stealer. Oh, I'm not cured. Are we done yet? Are we done? Gosh, you got a chronic illness. I'm going to take 20% of the people that, if compared to how many we have coming. I mean, we have so many people coming, and I'm only going to take 20% when I open up the next one. Everybody that comes is going to be taught everything from making their food to juicing to proper exercise, loving themselves. I mean, when they leave there, they're going to rocket ship. I'd rather do 20% of the people, make less money, and be totally feeling successful all the time. I know our stuff works. There's nobody else that gives a money back guarantee on consultations or body work. We already know it. If you watch and follow my stuff, I'll show you on this world tour. We'll take tumors down by 70% in one treatment using a cell sonic and non-surgical. You have no idea. We can bring the thunder down, and that's why I'm a threat. And so is every other practitioner that actually brings the game up and gives back people's power. So where are we going with this, Cindy? Your brother. Where are we going with it?
I'm guessing I need to get stronger to hold this line better.
No. You need to bring your vibration up so that he'll bring his up.
Right, because you're the model.
No, because you love yourself. You're not going to do it for him. If you do it for him, it won't last.
Got it.
No, but the reality is you're not going to do it. Well, I'm not in pain anymore. I'm feeling better, but this is as far as I'm going to take it. Guys, chilly? We can have them turn off the air. If you're chilly, can we have that air turned off? I don't want anybody to be uncomfortable.
No, it's good.
Is that? It's good. Okay, we got hot flash baby. Okay, go ahead. All right, go.
Oh, I'm just thinking. Sorry. I'm just thinking.
No, don't be sorry. And the reality is this: until you want more for yourself, you won't demand. That's what's going to happen in your environment. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Until you have more value, you're not going to ask. You're not going to show him how to have more value. Okay. And as long as he doesn't have more value, then you don't have to grow. Your subconscious is still running you and not wanting to grow. No, you need to think about it. We'll come back to you and then you can challenge me on that. But the only reason why you're not holding the line more for him is because you're not holding it for yourself. Yeah. Sure. Yes. Go ahead. Speak loud and proud, sweetie.
Hi. Okay. I don't have any question. I just want to be grateful with you because my journey, it's really good. And my life changed completely.
Always keep the mic about 1 inch.
Yes.
Yeah.
I cured my diabetics and my thyroid disease.
See, now you can say that you cure your diabetic, and I will never say that we can cure anyone because only a person can cure themselves, and she will not stay cured unless she finds the perfect day on an emotional, nutritional, and physical level. And if she holds that perfect day and repeats it every day, would she ever have that again? Do you understand? So you can call that a cure if you're willing to find a perfect day and then keep moving forward.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
And yes, and I keep doing this journey. It's 24/7, and I like to be in this vibration. I mean,
Right.
Sometimes it's kind of a little challenge, but it's really good to be in.
Well, the
this.
challenge is because you have to be around friends and family that are never going to change.
No, exactly.
So mind your own business.
Exactly.
Mind your own business.
Yeah.
And take massive personal action and say, I love me.
Yeah. And that's what I try to do.
And that's
right
why
now.
we do this, right? Because we don't want to go to jail because I hear that you're not going to be allowed to kiss out in public anymore. So this is how we're going to kiss ourselves. Right? And we're going to snap ourselves back to the present moment because we know the herd will do anything, right? And it won't be hard to tell people not to love themselves because they already don't. Okay.
And then, yeah, that's what I'm here. And then I continue this vibration. And I like to be here.
Yeah, well, guess what? Hold the line.
Mm-hmm.
Hold the line. And guess what? You will be the blessing and not the curse.
Yes. And actually, I'm going to share something with you. I buy this one,
Which one?
my ring,
Yeah.
because this is an engage with myself to remind me every time that I'm in a journey and I have to hold my vibration all the time.
You do.
Yes.
If you love yourself first and foremost before anyone else or anything else, so help me God, you are the gift for this planet. Okay? You can either struggle with yourself or you can struggle with everyone else. And I'd rather struggle with everyone else and know that, guess what? I live my truth.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
First of all, I don't speak English very well.
Well,
because
you
I
speak it.
speak Spanish.
You speak it really well. And you know what? I live in Mexico, and I got to tell you, there's no excuses, but I just don't even have time to try to learn it. But I love Mexico. I really do. Every Spanish person that speaks such good English like she does starts off with that. They apologize. Never say that again. Never apologize again for not speaking good English, okay? Because I don't apologize for not speaking Spanish because the best thing I can share is my love. Okay? Don't apologize again.
No, it's no was apologize. It's explication.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, trust me. Did everybody understand every word?
Yes.
Does everybody almost understand her better than me? Yes. Go ahead.
I'm staying here because I want learn every day. It's important for me. It's a good opportunity for those other people,
Mm-hmm.
and because I love me so much.
Yes, good for you. See, look at this. There's somebody on here. Let me see here. Globe Trekker, Lulu. I am just laughing at this narcissistic man. This is what goes down, right? And it'll be the same person. 13, of course. I don't know you. I only know what you're putting out there. See, this is what happens, right? Yeah. So I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop because you know what? Everybody deserves a beautiful life and everybody deserves to be healthy. If you can tell me a better way that I can crack the coconut, I've been doing this for 40 years. I'm not sure how I can be like this. Okay, everybody, does everybody understand that there are some poisons out there? Okay? I don't know about you, but we don't have that convenience anymore. So I just ignore people like this. You know, I ignore them. You know, if it's not me, it'll be somebody else. Okay. And then there are actually groups out there that are paid to actually come after people like me. Right? Yes.
Can I mention something?
Yeah.
We have a version of you in the Spanish side, and his name was Frank Suarez.
Yes.
Do you know? I don't know if you hear about him. He has like a metabolism TV. He was doing exactly what you was doing, and
Yeah.
he got killed. He got killed because he told in the media the cure it's not allowed. So he got killed.
Well, I'm not looking to get killed anytime soon. The reality is that whether you want to believe it or not, just learn from me. Don't give me any money. Don't come to my clinic, and then I can't hurt you. I don't care. I don't need your money. Don't come to my clinic. Don't get therapy from me. Go to one of my therapists, or maybe they're dangerous too. The reality is this. I don't have any need anymore. There's no need. When you learn, okay, to love, honor, and respect yourself, you don't have did you ever notice something? We're always looking to fill up our life and our home and to fill up our day when we don't find ourselves. You know, I've had some pretty good attacks, and I've decided that I'm just going to do it anyway. I'm just going to keep on going anyway. I'm going to keep on hugging and keep on loving as much as I possibly can. And am I perfect? No. Do I really, am I pushing people to the cliff? Yes, because I want them to see. But the reality is I don't care what goes on this planet. You can have a beautiful, loving day every day. You can be at peace every day, but you have to go for an inner standing, not an understanding. There's no understanding, because when somebody says, do you understand? They're saying you're underneath them. You need an inner standing that you're beautiful and mind your own business and learn to play with yourself and love yourself. Yes. Yes.
I could have asked the same question as Penny. I have a 14-year-old also, a 12-year-old and a 9-year-old. So to go a little bit off of what she was saying, my question is more on the emotional side. We homeschool, and I use your...
Can I ask you one more question before they go?
Sure.
So now they're saying, I wouldn't let him talk to my wife and kid like that. Has anybody been offended yet?
No.
Have you been offended?
No.
Okay.
We're not snowflakes.
What?
We're not snowflakes.
But I do want you to melt your heart so that you can allow and really bring yourself into it. Because understand, you've never done anything wrong. I know you're not going to believe this, but you've never done anything wrong. You've always done your best. Whenever you've made a mistake or when you think you failed someone, your heart was in it. You've loved the best you could. So I'm going to actually see if I can get my my media person to actually ban this person so that they don't keep coming on, because they keep coming on every day. Every time I come on, they've got nothing to do. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my question was, I homeschool and I use a lot of your videos
Techniques.
and techniques and try to make them my own and then turn them into.
You never want to be me. You want to take the things that I have. Do not look to follow anyone. Become your own leader. You are a genius. Take the things and the strategies, and I want to thank you for that. I take your stuff and I make it my own. That's right. And
The one I'm struggling to make my own is I've done your Braveheart training 4 times. And then I try to take notes and turn it into more child appropriate, because
Yes.
they're awfully long segments. We
Yes.
wouldn't just be able to listen to them as a family. I'm wondering, since you said you were, after this world tour, going to focus on teens,
Yes.
if maybe a Braveheart course is something you would
okay,
do.
I have to make the Braveheart Health and Healing Circle for adults first really big, and then I'm going to let master trainers like Margaret and John take over. They're taking over. I'm going to do the one for teens. But if I were to do a teen one without doing the adult one first, parents will not spend money on their teens. They will only try to make them into superstar sports people. But if I said, how about sending your child to, and also I have to charge what my course is worth right now to pay this platform off. It's $250,000. And I have to pay all the people that are helping me do this. When I get done, I want to be able to charge, because we won't have all this overhead, to be able to charge, because parents, they hardly will spend it on themselves, less their children. So I'm going to have to make it really reasonable. Like, wow, let's take the course. Let's give the course to our son or our daughter. They're suffering. Let's see if they can be helped. So I'm going to have to make it to the point that there's probably hardly any profit in it. So I can't do that right now. So nobody's ever asked me that, but that's why I haven't done it. I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to do it. And I want to tell you, when you talk to your children, you need to tell them that they're 50 trillion cells. And whether you believe this or not, the way they feel about themselves, and when they feel anxiety and stress, that actually causes your cell to thicken, the wall on the outside. I want you to know that this is really science, guys. You can look it up if you want. Every one of your cells has a blueprint on the outside. It's a fingerprint, but it's a cell print. And every one is an individual cell print. Okay, so when you are inflamed, when you're infected physically, you are emotionally already. Because you're emotionally infected before you become physically affected, because it's your emotions that make your decisions. Okay, so far? So if I terrorize myself, my cells are terrorized. Depending on the emotion of the terrorism will depend on what organ or what part of the body. Okay, can you hand this out, please? Can you move that off there? And hand out the perfect day guide. And this is the guide that you'll get. No, you can hand that around too.
Okay.
This is my Healthy to 100 book. This is where you start. This is right down to basics, right? Right down to basics. No doctor can refute it. I'd like to try. It's 1 and 1 or 2, not 11. And this is where you start. And believe it or not, this is used in thousands of families for their homeschool. Okay? All right? And it's, yeah. And the reason why is because it really teaches them. You can hand that around, and the non-surgical. Now, in the perfect day guide there, so what we're going to be doing is I'm coming out with a perfect day patient guide. You will be able to buy a hard copy of that in 6 weeks. Of the where's the perfect day one? Can you hold it up? There it is. Go in there and you'll see Every emotion tells you where and what the condition's going to be and what the disease is. It's all based on Chinese medicine, which is thousands of years old. So when you get stressed out, you'll get a thickening around your cells. Okay, now are you ready for this? Guess what? When you get a thickening around your cells, do you think the nutrition can get in or the toxins can get out? No, because your body's going into defense, so it's going to close down. It does the turtle. Okay? So if he has anxiety or you have anxiety, the longer you have it, the more toxic you become in the cells, the more toxic you get, because when you hold on, you constrict, you lower the flow. So when you're not in the flow, remember, circulation is everything. Are you ready for this? Okay. So when we say the spirit comes down and we're spirit beings having a physical adventure, I hope you know something. The spirit never comes down. It's always infusing. It doesn't come down. It's always coming in. That's why it's an antenna on every cell. This is science. And what happens is when your cells thicken, it doesn't allow the spirit to get in. Okay, so you can believe it or not believe it. But if I go, when I'm in Mexico, the walls are that thick with cement. If I went outside there, would it have trouble getting a call in here? No. But when the walls are this thick with cement, I have trouble getting in. How many people know that when you're stressed out, how many people know that you will not have any disease unless you have what? Mitochondrial damage. Mitochondria are the energy generators for every cell. And if you're stressed out, you're acidic, and you pull in calcium, you calcify them. And instead of 2,500 spins per second, you only have 300 to 600 spins. And that makes the ATP that gives you the energy. Boom. So now it's going to calcify, but also the cell wall gets thicker. And guess what? Your spirit can't get in because it can't get in because you're in lockdown because there's a terrorist out here, even if it's an emotional terrorist. So if it's an emotional terrorist or it's a physical terrorist from chemicals, right? It's going to thicken because I need to protect you. Okay, you don't believe me? Then why is it when somebody gets a transplant, they'll meet the person and say, "You've got my son's heart." And the person will go, "Yeah, can you tell me why I like pickles and crackers? I've never liked that." "Oh my God, that was his favorite." And that's why you have to take drugs, because your body tries to reject the organ because it's the wrong print. It's the wrong antenna. So the spirit's coming in and going, this is not the home. So those rejection drugs. Okay, you can always bring everything back from the invisible before the physical. So I would teach your children, okay, that vibration is everything. Vibration and light is everything. Vibration and light, and all the foods we have, you can actually, okay, so within the next couple of years, you're going to be able to buy a device that will measure the vibration and light off a human or off a food. What do you think of that? Okay, I'm looking into right now, and my practitioners will have it on their phone. They will be able to it's infrared on a phone. They'll be able to tell you how much inflammation is in your body, and it'll be right on the phone. So technology has a good place. Okay. They're also going to be able to they're actually going to be able to tell how good your frequency is in the body. And you'll be able to tell there'll be very low frequency wherever the block is, wherever the inflammation or infection is, and everybody understand that disease means that those tissue cells are rotting. So you could actually, if you could open up the tissue would smell. Okay, because those tissues are dying. So you need to tell your children that every cell has a spine, a pancreas, a liver, a brain. It has a nervous system. They're all little mini them. So that's why you want to respect all these little mini yous. And the reality is you've got 50 trillion cells, and now you've got 500 trillion bacteria. And guess what? Did you know in the majority of the population, you're supposed to have 15% bad to keep them on guard and keep you strong. But go and have your stool checked and you'll find out that 95% of the population, their stool has 95% bad bacteria and only 15% good. So that's why everything is vibration. And that's why people say I do a parasite cleanse all the time and I can't seem to get rid of them. Well, no, you are the parasite because you're low vibrational. And the environment dictates what's going to live there. If you want to send them packing, bring your vibration up. They won't. I could eat things with parasite eggs or parasites. They're not going to stay in me. Anything else? Sure. They were fighting over it. Oh. Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
I have a question. Like, I have a history in my family with the dementia, and how to prevent.
First of all, if we have a history of dementia in our family, we really don't. Okay. If I said I had dementia in my family and everybody got it, I'm going to get it. Just because I forgot my keys, I'm going to go, it's already kicking in. So whatever you think about the most, you're going to become. There's right off the bat. There's no such thing. Dementia is not genetic. It's epigenetic. It's a belief system. I want you to bring some science. And also just know this. You're welcome to come back to tomorrow's lecture if you want. We're in a really big room. And yeah, if you want, you're welcome. 6 o'clock till 9. But there is no such thing. And dementia, okay, first of all, do you want me to actually talk to you personally or no?
Yes.
No, really? Your diet is horrendous. Your bowels are in bad shape. Okay? Yeah, you don't eat well. So the reality is you eat a lot of low vibrational and a lot of inflamed foods. So what you're going to do is, and understand something. What do you do for a living? Or
I'm in the medical field.
so what do you do in the medical field?
I'm a nuclear medicine technologist.
So are you on, so there's a lot of blue light, right?
It's a gamma radiation.
No, but are you on computer a lot?
Also, yes.
Okay, do you wear Teslas? They're the only glasses in the world that when you put them on, the only glasses, they're not blue blockers. Blue blockers don't work, just letting you know. They're always going to give you something that doesn't work. These here will take blue light and convert it into healing light and heal your brain. Whether you believe it or not, I guarantee you if you wear these and you wear glasses, you'll have to change your prescription for your glasses within weeks to a few months. That's it, without changing. Because blue light, are you ready for this? Do you want to know where the dementia is coming from? Dehydration. You don't drink enough. And you eat a lot of cooked food. And you eat a lot of inflammatory food. And I'm not picking on you. And that's not about picking on her. But right now, that's what I am. I'm a nasty guy. So, see, that's why you got to ask people if you can actually talk. Remember something. We are in a world of victims. Yes or no?
Yes.
I want different, Dr. Wolf. I want you to tell me the truth. But no, you're nasty. So there's no winning here. So I don't care. It doesn't matter anymore. I'm either going to quit the business or just plow through and do my best. So here's the deal. Did you know that your eyes don't see? Did you know that your brain takes the light and frequency? We pick up light and frequency. That's all. So the light and frequency that you pick up, what if the light and frequency most of the day was blue light coming off a computer, off your phone, off a TV, off the LED lighting? Guess what? And that's what she has all day. I would have dementia. If you sip on C60, okay, I sip on it all day. I've got my bag here, which I didn't put the stuff because you saw we were rushing. If you sip on C60, which C60 will pull out the nanobots out of the body. You do know that, right? Okay. And C60 is the highest vibrating molecule on the planet. It's 250 times stronger than vitamin C. C60, okay, will actually go in and repair the brain. Now, how many people know that cataracts are caused because of brain damage? How many people know that almost every eye disorder is caused because of brain damage from the blue light? How many people know that she's creating her own dementia because she's got blue light poisoning? And we already know that she has an inflammatory diet and she doesn't drink structured water and she doesn't drink enough water. So the reality is her brain is burning. How many people know that the brain takes more energy than anything else? How many people know that the brain becomes dehydrated, and when you're dehydrated and you feel a burning in your mouth or a burning in your body, your brain is already burning and you've got calcium and scar tissue building up in your brain. How am I doing? Okay. Well, I don't like your answer, she says. So what do you want me to do? So the reality is this, is you pick up light and you pick up frequency, it goes to your brain makes all these images. You don't see. Your eye, your optic nerve looks like it's backward because it slows the light and slows the frequency down. And then when it slows it down, your brain takes it and makes images. What do you think of that? Pretty cool, eh? You know, that's real science and real health. And nobody ever learned health or science, real science in school. You learned everything that was useless. I'm going to tell you something, you can believe it or not. So this is how arrogant I am. We have medical doctors taking our course all the time, every one of them. Nurses, tons of nurses now. Okay, chiropractors, lay people, accountants, oil riggers, you name it. It's an assortment. And the reality is this. Why don't you watch my stuff? And then before you decide to judge me. You know what the doctors are saying? That they learned more in my 22-day New World Practitioner course on health than they learned in all the years of school and training. So you know what? You can call it arrogant. You can say, oh, he's just after your money. Well, just understand something. I don't mind showing my books and where all my money goes. I'm already over all that. Okay, I'm over it. You know, and I know that natural health is always going to be under attack. Okay, this is called the harvest for a reason. There's no such thing as dementia. There's such thing as inflamed brain. Okay, which then goes to scar tissue and calcification, and it can all be reversed. Are you willing to do it? No, you're not, because you're going to go home to people that eat the same as you, and they're not going to want to change, are they? No, if families don't change. No, I am just so lucky, okay, that my partner, okay, that she just wants it all. She wants to live long. She wants vitality. She wants to be happy. She wants to be healthy. Look, I'll be 67 years old. And when I'm 87 years old, I'll still have more energy than most people. And that's not me being arrogant. I'm willing to share. Next. Hi.
What about food
What?
allergies, anaphylactic?
Okay, first of all, we're back to anxiety.
Yes.
Because that's when you set it off.
Okay.
No, it's not okay, and you know I'm right. And the reality is there is no allergies. There is the inability to break down a toxin.
Okay.
And that's it. Your immune system's low. I guarantee that
Since day one? Since day one?
I don't know.
I'm talking about kids, for example.
Well, guess what? What goes on in the womb? Is it a tomb or is it a womb? Is there loving in the oven? Or is there stress and anxiety and mom's eating an inflammatory diet? Huh?
It wasn't. For the 9 months, no.
There was stress there.
Yes, it was.
Well, I just said that. There was tons of stress during your pregnancy. Tons of stress. And guess what? You can't talk to someone and say, hey, you have a stressful personality. You know what they're going to, no, I don't. This is quite normal. Yes, it is for you. Okay, you want to know something? If I asked everybody here separately and said how your bowel movements are, you'd say great. If I asked everybody here, how's your diet? They'd say great. It could be a little better, but it's great. Really?
Pooping twice a day.
It's not what comes out. It's what stays in.
Okay.
All right? It's not what comes out. It's what stays in. And understand something. Your digestive tract is what? 30 feet long. And every time that you feel gas, every time that you have bloating, every time you have heartburn, every time you have low back pain, every time that you have pelvic inflammation, every time that you have headaches, every time you have sinus problems, every time you have pressure behind your eyes, every time that you have sore feet, you didn't eat right. Are we done yet? You know what God created? An amazing miracle called you. And if you want to be a detective, if you want to get a perfect day consult from one of my people, you'll find out where your weaknesses are.
So what about anaphylactic? It's not like allergy, but it's severely allergy.
Oh, well, it's severe allergies. We're still talking about the same thing. We're talking about a highly acidic person. And if you really wanted to track yourself, let's see before you have that, okay? Let's see 24 to 48 hours prior to that. And let's see what goes down. And then guess what? Does anybody want to talk about this? Everybody here is running a program. I'm running a program. The personality I have now is my program. And guess what? Why don't you track your family and then track yourself, and you'll find out, oh my God, it's 3:15. It's time for me to have an anaphylactic shock. And you'll find out that you're right like anything else. It's all programmable. Yeah, good to know, but guess what? Try to talk to people about this. They've never heard this before. And you know what? No, I inherited this. There's a genetic weakness. Okay? Blah, 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 blah. We can change all of this. All of it. But guess what? You want to know something? Are you ready for this? When a person has a chronic illness for more than 9 months, it becomes a part of them, and it becomes their routine, and it becomes a frenemy. And guess what? When things get too busy, when things get too stressful, I'm going to go and I'm going to have an anaphylactic shock. And then guess what? I get to have a 4-day off. Now, this is all done on a subconscious level. And I'm telling you, that's the way it is. And understand something. Do we want to be a victim, or do we want to be a hero? Do we want to find out why we're doing this? Everything that you have, the shape of your body, the shape of your life, your wealth, your health, okay, everything in your life was created by your program. But it's not your program. When it becomes your program, you will be the master of your health. Oh, so do you actually believe that if they tell you there's no cure and you have to be on this drug for life, you believe it? Well, then you better start listening to me, or don't listen to me. Listen to someone else, but they're going to tell you the same story, just with a different voice. They're going to say, until you take responsibility for your emotional well-being, until you take responsibility what's in the cupboard and the fridge. And how many people here, okay, have poverty consciousness? Every day we're struggling in our mind, even though there's enough food. We can pay our rent. We even own the house. We own the car. Life is great, but we're always just like, because guess what? They've got us on edge. Why don't you take a look at the next time you do this and take a look at 2 to 3 days back. Start tracking yourself. I want you to take out a calendar and track yourself every day for the next 60 days. And track, today I ate this, I did this, and this, I felt like this. Wow. Okay, this stress, what happened, this happened, and how did I react? Did I have a smile on my face? Did I connect to my breath? Did I stay calm? No, you didn't.
Even after one sip of milk,
What about it?
anaphylactic.
Okay, we already said that milk is the main cancer-causing food.
Yeah, but milk is with everything. So even by touching.
Well, okay, I'm going to tell you that won't happen. And do you want to bring the frequency up in other places in your life? Okay, when's the last time you did a vaginal infusion? When's the last time you did an ultimate coffee enema? When's the last time you did an advanced water fast?
Pregnancy.
What?
Before pregnancy.
You only did that to just try to make some room.
But I'm talking about my kids.
What are you talking about?
Like they have food allergies.
Okay, they don't. Okay, all right. I'm gonna. Well, what do they have allergies to?
Milk, dairy, eggs, and peanuts.
Okay, all right. Okay, first of all, what kind of eggs?
Every single one. We try every single one.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you. This is
From the farm.
this is a community family thing.
From the Wisconsin, from the private farm.
Okay, 1 second, please.
No.
This is the more people involved, the worse it's gonna get. You think I haven't had kids that had so-called allergies? All right. I've been there. I've seen it. I've worked for 40 years at this. You know, your subconscious right now, do you see a little bit of the defending, right? Because that can't be, because I'm not responsible. Well, you're not responsible. It's not your fault. No, you're not. It's not your fault until you have information.
They can die any day. They're gonna eat something.
Okay, all right, okay. Just the stress of you saying my kids can die any day,
Yes.
okay, is going to blow them and create the shock. Okay, I don't want to do this. We could be here. We would have to do a 1 to 2 hour consultation to find out that I don't want to be right. I just want you and your kids healthy. This is not about us doing a battle. It's not. I don't want to be right. I want your kids to be healthy and understand something. Your kids have bowel problems. They do. What kind of water do they drink? Help me out. You don't even know? Help me out.
What can I say?
When you're ready to be more open,
Okay.
things will change.
I'm open for everything.
Okay, all right. Okay.
We try lots of things. We try the Chinese. We
Tried what?
Chinese tea, Chinese.
No, it's not about that. It's not about the Chinese tea. It's not about the Chinese herbs.
We saw lots of the.
Okay. All right. I'll tell you what. Why don't you just go into my library and go into the Perfect Day Guide, start doing some research, watch how to become #1 at the art of #2. I don't want to battle with you. I do not. I am not going to battle with people. I don't want to be right. I want everybody to stay happy here. Okay? How are we doing?
Yeah.
What? Okay, all right. But I do want you to understand something. Just try to breathe. You're so frustrated, you're blocking me. Well, I asked you what type of water you drink at home. What kind of water do you drink? Let's just get there. No? What? Well, we start with the basics, right? That's all. We have to be detectives. Go home and become a detective. That's all. Be a detective. The human body is amazing. If you went home with the idea that they're not going to ever die, if you went home and never brought that up again, if you went home and actually said the human body is amazing, kids, we are going to turn this around because we're family, and you all grabbed each other's hands and you roared. And you said, we are going to get rid of everything and every chemical out of this house. Okay. And we're going to go into real good detox. You've never done that. I guaranteed you played Inky Dinky Schnitzel House because that's what most practitioners do. I didn't say it was going to be easy, and I never said it was going to happen right away. All I'm saying is if you want to work with me, okay, you can call me as often as you want, and we'll go and do this. I don't want to be right. I want you to be happy and at peace. Well, then don't fight. There's no war here. Don't struggle with me. I don't need to be right because I'm wrong every day. Because we're all just here trying to learn. Yes.
Hi, doctor. I have a question about the varicose veins.
Yes, constipation.
Constipation?
Yeah, your arteries are pumped mainly by your heart, and the veins, they count on you not pooping in your pelvis. Okay. And when you go, if you were to go and just do like daily cleansing tea, black gold, and then if you got yourself into the idea that you could do the ultimate coffee enema and then went on a perfect day diet and you weren't doing all these inflammatory products, okay, do you understand that your veins are like a river in the body?
Mhm.
So do you think we should stop throwing garbage into the river?
I'm doing my best.
Okay, I understand that, but you can do better. Have you ever done any really? See, what people don't get is the large intestine is the holy grail of your immune system, right? So if I were to gently cleanse it every day and nourish it, what kind of shape would I be in? You'd be in my shape. I do daily cleansing tea morning and night. I do black gold twice a day because it restores your good bacteria better than anything else. Good bacteria doesn't restore your good bacteria. I hope you know that because they're aliens. Okay. And then I do black diamond, which goes into the bloodstream and crosses the blood-brain barrier, which will take the chemicals and the heavy metals out and the acidity. Let's put it this way. When I do a consultation, you can have your money back anytime you want. I will deliver 100 times more than you spend. And understand that. When somebody gets a consult from us, we give them 6 weeks of undivided attention for $150. Who does that? Who does that? Nobody you know. When somebody gets a consult from me, I charge much more, but they're stuck with me for life and they can call me 10 times a day. I only give my phone number out all the time. Just understand something. It's not your fault that your children or that you aren't well. Just breathe, stay in the moment, and become a health detective. And understand, I don't care what it is, you can turn it around. You can turn it around, just don't give up.
So, from what you said, fixing my digestive system and eating and cleaning up, I can reverse my veins?
Yes, you can, and I can tell you too right now that if I would go to see Margaret, do you live around here?
Excuse me?
Do you live around here, love?
Yeah.
Well, go see Margaret. Get a consult, and then guess what? Whether you want to believe this or not, the Cell-Sonic right here, okay? If she takes the Cell-Sonic and Cell-Sonics those, and then you learn about putting essential oils on and clapping the area, they're going away. They're going away. But the Cell-Sonic, I had one varicose vein right in my inside groin, and I went and gave it 50 pulses. You know, I mean, if I had shorts on, I could show you. And guess what? I kind of left it there because I only have one. I don't have any varicose veins, just that one. And then guess what? I only did 50 pulses and it was that long and it reduced it by 60% right away. But my diet's really good, right? Okay, so the reality is if we can get you to clean up your diet, if we can get you to cleanse your bowel, if we can get you to actually do like the ultimate coffee enema, if I were to get you to do an ultimate coffee enema once or twice a day for 10 days, and I were to get you just to eat whole plant-based foods, and I were to get you to drink structured water and it would be warm to hot, and it would have some black diamond in it, right away you're going to see the difference in 10 days. I'm telling you, you'll see the difference. Your body loves you. Your body loves you. And that which created your body loves you beyond love. It's going to work. I'm telling you, it's going to work. I've been doing this for 40 years. I tell the whole world, don't come to me. Don't spend any money with me. Just go to my practitioners. Maybe you can trust them. Okay? I don't need it. Listen, last time I quit 15 years ago. And I went down to the rainforest. And I was down there and I lived there for 3 years. I'll do what I can, and then eventually I'm just going to walk from all of this. You notice how people struggle and they want to fight with me? It's not about fighting. It's about loving yourself. It's about understanding, what am I trying to sell? I'm trying to sell unconditional love, unconditional care for yourself. Wow. Let's not confuse me with anybody. I am what I am. What I am, I'm going to hold the line. Like me or don't like me. The reality is this. Love yourself. Love yourself. And know that there's always an answer. We're not cursed. We just haven't got beliefs sometimes at work. Who's next? Hi, love.
Dr. Wolf,
Yes.
my question is, you've been at this for 40 years. A lot of times people will start a new journey because of like health issues or whatever.
Yes, love.
Do you recall what happened like 40 years ago? Like, what was your thinking that started you on this path?
My grandfather died of bowel cancer. So me and my mother, when I was 17 years old, he was in the hospital and he hadn't pooped for 12 days and he had bowel cancer. So they didn't give him an enema or anything like that. So we brought him home, and I'm going to tell you, my grandfather was my friend. And there's me picking poop out of his butt until we could get it out of there enough to do warm water enemas. And this is me at 17. The smell that came out of there was worse than a dead animal. When I was 19, I hitchhiked to Gary, Indiana, and I became a certified colon therapist. I slept in the backyard in a tent, and I ate watermelon for 10 days because they didn't have a lot of money. That's a true story. And then my mother got tongue cancer and lung cancer because she smoked McDonald menthol cigarettes 2 packs a day and 5-star rye. My father got leukemia 3 times. And you can believe this or not, I don't really care, but guess what? We pull off the impossible all the time. I am possible. We got rid of my father's leukemia in 6 weeks. When he came to me, his eyes were yellow, his skin was yellow, he had cold sores all over his lips, and they said, you got 2 weeks to live. 6 weeks later, he's got his bags packed. I've got pictures, and I've got documents. Bags packed to go visit his sister. After he leaves, he goes back to his diet, goes back to the way he thinks, gets it again. Took us 3 months to turn it around. 3rd time, he didn't make it. You can't change. If your personality doesn't change, that's why willpower runs out. You got to love yourself and care for yourself. You know, I'm not upset. I just the thing is that my father didn't have enough time, and the belief systems that he failed so often in his life, he couldn't love himself but this much. And that's why you can't get pissed off at people. You can't get angry at your family. It's hard for them to love themselves when they've been made guilty as if they failed them, failed the children, failed their wife, failed their husband, failed everyone. That's what we do. It's very difficult, but you just got to put a slight smile on your face, stay connected to your breath, and love them anyway, because that's the gift. You know how many people call me up and go, Dr. Wolf, I don't want her to go. I go, but she wants to go. You've got to let her go. I know, but I'm gonna miss her. I'm gonna go. You better start working on loving yourself, and the part that she filled your heart, you better start filling it right now. Or because guess what? What is the main number 1 killer? Heart disease. And it's because you have a broken heart. You have an empty heart. My heart hurts. So you've got to learn to love yourself. You know, it's never easy when people get sick or when people move on, but people aren't getting sick. You do know that, right? It's the body trying to get well. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Thank you, and thank you for coming to Illinois.
Thank you for having me. And I mean that. Thank you.
Doctor, quick question. Did you have any
history with patients with Lyme disease?
Yes, I have a big history with patients with Lyme disease. I don't know if I want to go down that route though, because people aren't going to like it.
Would like to go down that road.
Oh, you know what? It's so controversial.
We'd like it.
Okay. Oh, I don't really want to do it. Okay, but then guess what? We stop as soon as somebody gets upset with me. I can't do this. 95% of Lyme's patients don't have Lyme's. Okay. Okay. I can get into it later if you want. You can call me. I don't mind. Or if you guys all want to get together, share your emails. I'll do a live Zoom, and we'll go on a private live Zoom where I'll talk about things and open up more. I've got too many people that want to make me into a target. Okay, because as soon as I say that, now I've got everybody going, oh my God, sure, ruin my business. So, no. First place we go with every Lyme's patient is emotional first. Okay, the acidity, the stress, the anxiety. Listen, yeah. Yeah. Next.
Okay, thanks for being here.
Thanks for being here. You.
Nice to meet you.
Yes.
And yes, I'm a mass wearer because I used to do Chinese medicine, Eastern medicine on myself, and I used to treat people too.
Sure.
And then I got really sick, and the medicine didn't work anymore, and I was on my deathbed. So basically, my bone marrow doesn't produce half of my immune system anymore. I have to go every week to get one. So kind of am interested in your program to get back into more Eastern medicine kind of stuff, natural. I do eat organic stuff.
Well, you don't eat a lot of organic stuff.
I do.
No, you're still eating. You've got bad habits still, love. You do. I'm telling you right now, you've got bad habits.
Okay.
Okay?
It's not as bad as you think.
Well, I didn't say that, but I'm just going to tell you, your bowel is a megacolon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's stretched right out. Your liver's backed right up with toxins. Okay? You're highly inflamed. If you were on a whole plant-based organic diet,
I did do that for a
no.
while.
Well, 1 second, please. 1 second. It's impossible. And then if we were to put you on advanced water fasting, it's impossible. You know what? You've got to take it gradual because you are highly toxic. And the reality is that we couldn't go too fast because you can't unleash everything and then ask the body to accept it. So
That's
what
for sure.
we would need to do is build you up nutritionally first, and then using things like Black Diamond and Black Gold, they drop off 70 micronutrients, but they suck up 600 times in their weight of viral, bacterial, fungal, heavy metals, and acidity. And as soon as they do, they lock it down and bring it out. Understand?
I just had a liver biopsy, and actually, my surgeon was really surprised because it really wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, well, when you do a biopsy, just know that creates more inflammation and it terrorizes your liver. So now her liver's going to be inflamed as more scar tissue is going to grow in there.
Yeah.
Okay? All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hi, Dr. Wolf.
Hi.
How are you?
Wondering if I should have done this Q&A. Because I think most people aren't ready to accept it. Okay, let's go. Yeah.
So I saw you yesterday on my treatment.
Oh, yes. Hi, how are you?
Yes.
Oh, my apologies. I thought I didn't. Okay.
And it was very emotional, as you know.
Yes.
I got home and I just took a power away.
Took what?
Took my power inside to me again.
You took your power into your side, okay.
Yes. And
Do you mind telling people what we did just so they understand your story?
Yeah.
Is that okay? You don't have
Yeah,
to.
go ahead.
No, I don't want to.
Well, I just went for a treatment. I saw a couple times Margaret for my lower back. Probably that was 9 years ago when they diagnosed me with spondylolisthesis, which is between my L5 and S1. The vertebrae is kind of it's so noticeable.
Mhm.
And then they wanted to fuse my spine, and I actually deny it. And I'm living with this and seeing every chiropractor, massage therapist, and I just found Dr. Wolf technique, and I saw Margaret for 2 days. And now seeing a Dr. Wolf yesterday, it was just changing my life, actually. It was very painful and very emotional. And I started to be on a water fast. And my question to you is actually if you can tell us more about the nutraceutical that you have that would promote really a good water fast for me.
I would take a look at and talk to Margaret and do the advanced water fast. You know, what happens is juice fasting is really great. Water fasting is stronger because juice fasting won't turn on autophagy or stem cell making, but it'll nourish you. And then you don't have the load of the cooked food, the fried food. Your body doesn't have to utilize any energy to digest the juicing if you want to do juicing. If you do an advanced water fast, you want to use structured water. A lot of people will use distilled water. You won't find distilled water in nature. You know how hard distilled water is? Why don't you drink a glass and see how heavy it is? Once you structure it, it's a lot lighter, okay? The water is a lot lighter. It's 1,000% more hydratable. You can use like Kangen water. That's a good water. You can use, spring water, like a fresh spring water off the mountain, or filtered water. But the reality is this structured water is what you find with the rain coming down. So even though the rain has maybe chemicals in it, acid rain, guess what? It doesn't bother the birds, bees, flowers, and the trees, does it? Or the microorganisms, the crops grow the same. So when you structure water, even though there could be chemicals in it, you're protected. There's something that people can't seem to get. So once you structure it, and this is a structure unit right here. And if you ever try it, we'll give you 90 days on it. So even though it might sound totally different and ridiculous, just send it back if you're not happy. And you can put this under any tap. Now, I will travel and put this under a tap and drink the water. And you can think I'm foolish, but the foolish ones are the ones that buy the water in a plastic bottle. There's over 120 chemicals in all bottled water, no matter what sales pitch they give you. And the plastic is made from petroleum. And it's always gassing off. And that's where the xenoestrogens come in, where the hormonal imbalance is so bad today. Okay? So the reality is this, is when we do an actual water fast, we use structured water. You can use distilled, but you're going to have to structure it because guess what? Mosquito can walk across distilled water, filtered water, but a mosquito will drown walking across structured water because there's no surface tension. And when you structure water, there's what's called the aquaporin channel in every cell. And what happens is when you create that frequency of structuring in the water, when it comes into the body and it comes near the aquaporin channel, there's a frequency and it causes the water, because water has about 2,500 to 3,000 layers in per drop. And it stretches itself like a choo-choo train and goes right into the cell once you've structured it. So it's all about being hydrating to get the nutrition in and get the toxins out efficiently. The other thing is this. Think about this. Putting somebody on a water fast, okay, with all of these GMOs and all of these chemicals and heavy metals, okay, and most people have chronic fatigue or anxiety. So now you're dumping all of this stuff out. And if there's already physical blocks or you've got chronic fatigue or you've got sluggishness in your detox organs and you unleash all of this, you're going to get headaches, pain. You're going to suffer your way through. So if you take a look at an advanced water fast, we're using things like IGF 300,000 that you used to make when you're in your teenage years, and it doesn't turn on your digestive tract. We're using black diamond, which does not turn on your digestive tract. We're using things like infinite iodine. Infinite iodine is the only pure iodine on the planet. I hope you know that. It is. And there's no toxic value to it. And infinite iodine will disinfect in 15 seconds a virus. That's science. Okay? We also use things like ionic calcium therapy, which is called Merigen or Cardigen or Dentagen. They're all kind of an calcium ion therapy that actually goes in, and calcium ions, they carry on 120,000 hormonal and chemical processes per second. When you were younger, you did this all the time. So now what we're going to do is we're trying to reestablish where you were when you were at your healthiest and bring in that type of vibration. So there's other things you're on. I don't want this to sound like a product marketing, okay? My God, you should see. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to stop this video because now all they're doing is fighting. People are fighting. He's a scammer. He said that he scammed people on his last video. I wish I would have got a clip of it. I can't even do this anymore. Okay, you know, yeah, I'm done. I'm done. I don't know if there's any coming back. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm done. I'm going to be shutting down the videos right now, and we're not going to be doing any more lives. And that's it. Enough is enough. We love you. Don't listen to them. CBS documentary shows actual whatever. CBS. Okay, what they did? They spliced and diced, and you can take anything. You know, you can take anything. And the reality is I'm not perfect. They went all the way back when I was only 30 years old. Understand something. I'm going to tell you that I'm overzealous to help people. So did everything always come out right? No. Have I always been perfect? No. But I'm going to tell you something. I've had enough. I will not be bantered. I will not be torn down anymore. I will even stop doing these lectures. And then I will only work with my practitioners. If the world's going to go down this route, then I'm not going to participate. I'm not. It's not worth it. Oh, don't worry about them, Dr. Wolf. You know, you get tired of it, don't you? You get tired of it. You know, you have to protect yourself. I just want peace. I don't want your money. Keep your money. Don't shop in my store. Don't come to my clinic. Don't come to my trainings. I don't care. And that's how I feel. It's enough. People say they want different. And then as soon as you bring them something that's really different, they don't want it.
Because the programs they have.
Yeah, I know, but you know what? I'm one person.
Oh yeah.
I'm one person. We just can't keep doing this. Yeah. Somebody says I need a moderator. Well, I'd like to do that. If I can get somebody, I'll get my person to moderate and start blocking these people when we do lives. But I'll have to get somebody by tomorrow because I'm not going to put up with it. I'm going to tell you something. There's nobody that's ever going to be able to say that I've scammed anybody out of a penny. Oh, they can say it. I mean, CBC actually said that 3 people died because of me since I was in Mexico. Yeah. And 3 people did die at the Ixtapa Palace, but it wasn't because of me. You got to get this. Oh, he's a murderer. Go get him. Well, where's the police? Why aren't they coming? I don't really think that the majority of the population is ever going to wake up. And, you know, I'm not trying to tell you that wake up like me or love me or believe me. But the reality is what did I try to sell you so far today? Why don't we just talk about that? What did I try to do today? Yeah, just love yourself and care for yourself. And I'm not gonna put up with these banters on here. They're a distraction. They have to be removed. Yeah. So until I figure that out, I'm going to shut this down because I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Okay. I want to know who the sick one is here. Do you know what I mean? Is it me? And if I am, I'm in a delusion and I should just quit. Right. And this is why I'm going to go work with practitioners that understand. Our world's in trouble. Our world's in trouble, and I could go live in a shack for all I care, as long as it's warm and it's near the beach. Yeah. Yeah. People are really toxic. I'm telling you. That's why when I open up this next clinic, people are going to have to fill out a form. And that's the way it is. And if nobody wants to come, that's okay. But I'm not going to have alcoholics, drug addicts. I'm not going to have people coming to make me responsible. If they don't want to come and learn how to have a perfect, loving, caring day from the moment they rise until they close their eyes, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm going to tell you something. How many people here remember 20 years ago, 25 years ago? We weren't so messed up. You know, we still bought into that we have to go to war and jump and go to other countries and kill people, which we never did. We're only doing it for the elite. I know we took lots of drugs back then still, but you know, it wasn't as messy as it is now. My God, people will fight over politics. Black lives matter, all lives matter. I mean, it's like this, guys, it's gotten really crazy. And you know what? Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'll do this tour. I might opt out. I might.
Be strong.
Let me tell you something. I'm strong, but there's too many weak people.
Yeah.
You know?
Be strong for the ones that want to listen.
Oh yeah, but you know what? He's a killer. He's a murderer. He's disgusting. You know, enough. It's enough. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, guys. You need to understand you're not in my shoes. You know what? There are a lot of people that count on me. I have 30 people that work for me, but not just that. I have tons of practitioners, hundreds of them that have taught for me. They have to put up with this bantering. So I will shut down everything and then not go and hide. There's nothing to hide from. But I am responsible to my practitioners because I made a promise that I would help them become successful on all levels. We're so close. We're so close to creating a platform to have people actually believe that they can become their own doctors, own practitioners, that they can love and care for themselves. And that's the way out. We're so close. I've always pushed the envelope. Isn't that obvious? So it can be twisted any way you want it. Yeah. And you are not allowed to give people courage. You're not allowed to. I don't want to give people hope. I want to give them courage. I want to give them faith in their own healing. I'm in a dilemma because guess what? I don't have to work anymore. People don't get that. I don't know. I think that, we're all out to it. We're just attacking ourselves and each other, aren't we? Look at the struggle you have with your son. 25 years ago, we didn't have that struggle.
I was.
They upped their game. The poison is just so bad. I'm not perfect. But the reality is that how much disrespect can you take? Like I owe it to Margaret to make sure that I protect her because she's part of what I do. Do you understand? So it's not about me. You don't get that. It's about my son. It's about my partner. It's about my children. It's about the people that love me. It's about the practitioners that trust in me, that I'm going to do the right thing and hold the line. The reality is I probably just need to pull out unless I get somebody monitoring, I have to pull out of media and can't go on these things anymore.
And that's how we found you. You know, that's just sad.
Well, I understand that's, but
How do you think the elite do it? They sit behind the curtains and let 1,000 other people do it for them.
I know that.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
And I also know that a lot of people are paid to come after people like me. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Keep living your truth.
Well, you can't, it's sometimes not worth it. It's not worth it.
Well, it's worth it to us. Yes.
Anyways, I would like somebody to be a moderator, and then I would stay on these programs. But let's keep going here. Okay. Any more questions? Yeah.
Actually, just talking about the water fasting, advanced
Yeah.
water fast, and then also juice fasting. Do you suggest to kind of do a baby step process, like do the juice fasting and then do?
I would
water
suggest,
fast?
I would first suggest is that you actually just go into more of a perfect day diet.
So what if you're already doing that and then like raw?
Oh, then I would go and do a juice fast.
Okay.
And bring your vibration up higher. And I would also make sure you do the ultimate coffee enema. And also, I would also do the vaginal infusion. I'm telling you, women have it made. Because if you do a vaginal infusion, you know what? I'm going to tell you, you can believe it or not, but it's true. You can put things in the vagina and heal a brain tumor. You need to get that. Yeah. Yes, it's the holy grail.
So what about doing like a water, like colon hydrotherapy or water and lemon enema instead of the coffee, or do both?
I wouldn't do colon hydrotherapy. I think you, okay, does anybody know, like, just so you know, when I was 27, I opened up the North American Institute for the Advancement of Colon Therapy. I wrote a colon therapy manual that was used by the United States Senate in the study of colon cancer when I was 32. Okay? So I know all about colon therapy. And colon therapy is great, but don't rely on it. Rely on it on more of a perfect day diet. Rely on creating a perfect day, loving and gently caring for yourself and creating a program. Don't do this. Okay? I'm going to do a deep detox. Okay? I'm going to do a deep detox. Okay, I'm done. This keeps coming up. They're done. That's enough. Bye, everyone. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, both of them. They can both go now. I just got to figure out how to end this one. Do you remember how we ended this one before?
It's already done.